Hello, future CAs. Today we are going to get one step closer for you to become a CA in the future. Vanakkam, Namaskaram, and Sabko Swahat to the CA Interlaw Expected Question Marathon for May 26 exams. In this quick intro, I'm going to tell you what you can expect from me in the next 3 to 4 hours in this expected question marathon. But before that, I would love to know from where you are watching this law expected question marathon and comment down your particular location from where you're watching, because it always gives me so much pleasure to see students from across India. Put it in the live or put it later in the comments and students will be there. Now, sir, what is the flow of the chapters for expected question marathon? I want things to be effective for all of you. If you are going to spend 3 to 4 hours with me, it should be 2 to 3x productive than what you spend the time with yourself. Now accounts exams are done, you have come home, you are going to revise with me, or you're going to watch this as a recording later. Now, entire session what you're going to see now till the end is recorded today. Freshly I have recorded, no other work today. I have recorded, merged and giving it to you as a live over here. The flow is, I have to give you confidence for the exam, guys, because all of you would have prepared from different places, and when you're coming here, my goal is to give you that confidence. So minimum you will be getting 50 marks when you watch this expected question marathon, and we are going to cover 8 chapters in detail. Sir, what about the other chapters? Other chapters also I will be covering it. I will show you where I will be covering it towards the end of the marathon. But over here, we will be starting off with dividend first. I always like to start off with dividend, and then I will go off to other laws, which comprises for 40 marks. That other laws will fully be done. Interpretation of statutes, General Clause Act, FEMA, LLP and FEMA in the same order. Once that is done, I will go to Companies Act again, charges, prospectus and preliminary, which will be done in the last, guys, preliminary. Now what is happening with these 8 chapters? These 8 chapters will account for minimum of 50 to 60 marks, and we will finish all of that in just 3 to 4 hours, which gives you immense confidence to take up the other topics by yourself. Sir, how do I do other topics? That also I will tell you in the end, guys. Don't worry. End of the marathon, I will tell you how we are going to cover the remaining chapters. Sir, what about the materials, sir? Now, for my law lectures, I have 2 set of materials. For regular class, I have my new materials, which is my new color materials. And for my crash course, I have the old material, which is nothing but my black and white material. We are in the process of transition. Currently, students, if you are watching, 90% of my students are still using this material only. So this is going to be the last attempt. The May 26th is going to be the last attempt where I'm going to do expected question using my black and white material. And more than the material, most of the time I will be using handwritten notes, guys. Subsequent attempts for your juniors, I will be transiting into the new material. Just want to give you little bit of heads ups into that. Where do you get the material, guys? You just have to go to the CA Classroom website and you go to the free resources section. In free resources section, you will find law regular. Don't go to this. This is color new materials for subsequent attempts. I will be using only that. Anyway, PDF is available just in case if you want for reference. But for this marathon, you come to this workout over here. This first concept book I will be using, I will be highlighting that, and I will also be using my law GenZ notes and my LLP notes, handwritten notes, plus I have written a lot of notes extra for our revision, guys. Once this is done, your introduction is done, go and enjoy the marathon. Sir, you told you will tell us the end, sir. What about the other chapters? So now we will cover 8 chapters. After that, if you really love the chapters the way we have taken, the remaining 7 chapters also I have covered it, guys. Since there are no amendments for those chapters, you can go refer to the GenZ Marathon of mine. In the same 2 to 3 hours, I would have finished the GenZ Marathon. Why I have taken this decision for this attempt is basically that when we take it for 7 to 8 hours, it goes till night 2, 3. It should not affect your preparation. So I decided this time let me try it like that. Let me give you a 3 to 4 hours of intense effort of these chapters, and for other chapters if you guys want you can watch the GenZ Marathon, that is also available in the description of this video. What are you waiting for? Go enjoy the marathon, and once you finish let me know in the end how effective and how beautiful it was for you. All the very best for exams. Let us start off the expected question marathon with dividend, guys. In dividend chapter, I'm going to start off first with interim dividend concept, followed by the other concepts that we have over here. Now, interim dividend. Sir, what is interim dividend, sir? It is defined as a dividend which is declared between two AGMs of the company. That means what? It's declared during the financial year, and during the financial year itself I'm giving dividend for the people before the year is getting over. This is point number one. Second question I want to ask all of you. Sir, that means in AGM I can't give interim dividend. In AGM also I can give interim dividend. How, sir? In AGM first I will give final dividend for my previous year, because AGM is happening after the year ending. So I will give final dividend for the previous year, and I will be giving interim dividend for that year's quarter. So I can give double dividend, final dividend for previous year and interim dividend of that year in the AGM. Therefore both are possible, but ICA will not go that depth and ask there. So far they have not asked like that. Sir, for us for exam what is important, sir? Interim dividend is a dividend declared during the year between two AGMs, guys. Now for exam, how do I do computation of this? First, during the year when I am declaring dividend in the current financial year, overall the company is profitable. When I use the word overall profitable, what I'm trying to say, there may be loss, there may be profit, but overall cumulatively it is profitable, sir. Then no need to worry about any limits. Go declare any amount of dividend. I can use my current year profits and I can also use my previous year profits. For example, if my current year reserves is 100, my previous year profits is 150, I can use the entire 250 and make it 0 for declaring dividend. This is generally an easy point because there are no rules here. Students generally get confused in this area. When current financial year there is an overall loss, how to deal with this? Let me explain how this works. If I am declaring dividend in the current quarter Q1 of any financial year, then I will check previous financial year 12 months financial statements if company is profitable or not. If company is profitable, same thing as what we have over here. If company is lost, I will tell you what to do, guys. For example, let's say company is declaring dividend in Q3. Q3 I am declaring dividend, sir. Then in Q3 if I am declaring dividend, I have to check the total of the preceding total all quarters, sir. Q1 plus Q2. Imagine Q1 is profitable, Q2 is loss making. When I set off in Q3, overall I got a negative balance. Profit is not there, company is having a loss in Q3. In that case, what they are saying, the rate of dividend, only one rule to follow, then the company can declare any amount of dividend, but the rate used for declaring dividend should not exceed the average of last 3 years. So summary is what, sir? In the current year where I am declaring dividend up to the preceding quarter or the previous financial year, if it's Q1, if it's overall profit, then there is no limit. But in the current financial year up to the preceding quarter, if overall is loss, then the average rate cannot exceed the rate of last 3 years, guys. All other provisions apart from this, like abeyance, unpaid dividend, rest of the chapter, whatever is applicable for final dividend is applicable for interim dividend also. Next concept, if you see, is section 126, dividend in abeyance, guys. If you go to dividend in abeyance, basically once dividend is declared, has to be paid to you within 30 days, guys. But I am not able to pay because there is a dispute between whom to pay the dividend. How, sir, dispute will come? Let's say two brothers, Mukesh and Anil Ambani, are fighting. Now the shares are there in the father's name. Now both of them are fighting for ownership. To whom should I pay? Or transfer is pending. Seller has transferred to the buyer. Transfer is pending. In this case, where company has some uncertainty because of dispute or transfer is still pending, then all the benefits that come out of the share, like rights, like bonus, like dividend will be kept on hold, guys. Company will wait until the dispute or what to say transfer is completed. Then the rights, bonus and dividend will be given. Now where this dividend will be kept on hold? This dividend which kept on hold is transferred to section 124. What is section 124? Which is nothing but my unpaid dividend account. I will tell you a magic how to remember section numbers over here. Now 126 is abeyance. 126 is abeyance. Abeyance of what? Rights. So this 26 you reverse. 62 is rights and 62 plus this one 63 is bonus. So 126 talks about abeyance of rights and bonus. This 26 if you reverse, 62 is rights and 63 which is bonus. And for dividend the abeyance is section 124, it gets transferred to unpaid dividend account. Let's leave section numbers, guys. Today it's unlike my usual class where I make students remember section numbers. Today it's about remembering the concepts. So abeyance, dispute or transfer pending, then rights, bonus, dividend will be kept on hold. Hold is nothing but abeyance, guys. Next is section 127, penalty. Penalty for not paying dividend. Once the dividend is declared, it has to be paid within 30 days. If it is not paid within 30 days, I made a promise but I didn't give to you within 30 days of making the promise, then from the 31st day penalty comes. Now over here, very very important, there is another word called not claimed. Not claimed means not company's fault. You didn't claim the dividend which I gave you. So if it is not claimed, this section will not come. Only for not paid this will come, guys. And if it's not paid, interest payable by company is 18%. Students ask me, sir, 18% per month or per annum? Give some what to say sympathy for the company, guys. It's not per month, 18% will go somewhere, guys. It's 18% per annum. The rate is 18% per annum. Remember, all the interest rates in the Companies Act is always per annum only, guys. And then for every director and officer of the company who intentionally made the delay, then knowingly if they have made the delay, up to 2 years of imprisonment is there. Up to 2 years, not 2 years. It can be even 2 days and 1000 rupees per day of default, guys. So what is the penalty? Not, remember this important penalty, not paid within 30 days. Then from the 31st day, interest at 18% and director, any officer who is knowingly involved, up to 2 years imprisonment and 1000 rupees per day of penalty. There are some exceptions. In certain cases, penalty is not payable. Sir, what are those exceptions, sir? Exceptions is basically the summary of these exceptions says it's not company's fault. For example, I told you one thing is there is dispute between the shareholders. So that is section 126 abeyance is there, guys. That is the one. So basically there is dispute regarding right to receive dividend. I'm going to highlight the keywords from my book. Dispute regarding right to receive the dividend. Next, where dividend could not be paid due to operation of any law. COVID came, they said there's a lockdown for 6 months. Because of this, I couldn't pay dividend, operation of any law. Then dividend is lawfully adjusted by the company against any sum due from the shareholder. Shareholder has to pay me call money. I have to pay him dividend. I will adjust both, guys. And then next one, shareholder gave some directions to the company. Hey, don't pay me dividend in cash. You give me dividend in Bitcoin. Company is saying, no, I can't follow all these instructions. I will give you only in cash. So the shareholder gave directions to company regarding the payment of dividend, and those directions cannot be complied. Company is saying, no, Bitcoin I cannot give it to you. If company cannot follow that, then the same has to be communicated to the shareholder. This point has 3 important things to convey, guys. Over here, if shareholder gave directions to the company, if company is not able to comply, then the same should be communicated back to the shareholder. So what a summary of the points over here, guys. First, due to operation of any law, because of law I'm not able to pay. Second, directions given, not able to follow, same thing should be communicated. Third, dispute regarding right to receive dividend, some issue is going on, then lawfully adjusted against what is receivable from you. And lastly, any other reason but not company's fault. It's not company's fault. For example, postal department is shut down for 3 months because of some strike or whatever, guys. Then one more point over here, Nidhi company. In case of a Nidhi company, what they're saying, if the dividend payable to member is less than 100 rupees, I can't buy an envelope and put stamp and send to you, because I should just pay you 100, what to say, less than 100, not 100, less than 100. Let's say 75, 80 rupees. For that I can't buy envelope. It is enough to announce the declaration in the newspaper, vernacular newspaper in wide circulation, and publish in the notice board of the Nidhi company for 3 months. So this exception comes only for a Nidhi company, guys. This is penalty under section 127. Next is section 124, unpaid dividend account, guys. This has lot of timelines, so I have simplified for you over here the summary. The minute once dividend is declared, guys, in the first 5 days, what we should do, we should transfer the money to a separate bank account, which is a scheduled bank. Of course, every bank account in Companies Act, wherever they use the word, it's going to be scheduled bank. So within 5 days, I will transfer it to a scheduled bank. Then of course within 30 days I have to make the payment. Within 30 days I have to make the payment. If I don't make the payment within 30 days, then in the next, now the words over here is in next 30 days. If you see in penalty 127, they say it is not paid within 30 days, penalty comes. But over here, it's not paid within 30 days and also not claimed within 30 days. So here both punishment mistakes are coming. Company has not paid in 30 days. You have also not collected in the 30 days. Your bank account is not working, or you got the courier, you didn't see it. So in 30 days, dividend didn't reach the shareholder. Then they are saying in the next 7 days, within the next 7 days, what you should do, you should transfer the money to unpaid dividend account. You should transfer it to the unpaid dividend account, which is another bank account, which is a scheduled bank account of the company, guys. If you don't transfer in 7 days, if you fail to transfer in 7 days, then 12% interest comes for the company. So remember carefully, 18% interest comes in 127 only if it's not paid. But unpaid dividend account in 30 days, if you don't pay, or if you don't, it's not claimed, then within the next 7 days, if you don't transfer to unpaid dividend account, then 12% interest comes. The moment money is transferred to this account, from the time it's transferred to this account, within the next 90 days, what I should do, sir, I have to prepare a report of all the shareholders to whom dividend is not paid, along with their last known name, address, email, all that. And that report should be published in the website of the company and also authorized website of central government. This should happen within 90 days from the time money comes into unpaid dividend account, guys. It is not 30 plus 90, no. After 30 days gets over, within 7 days I will transfer, and once it comes to this account, within the next 90 days. Now, once money comes into this account, money will stay in this account for 7 years. After 7 years, it will be transferred to section 125, which is my IEPF, and that's the next section. So overall, repeat with me, guys. Keep repeating with me from your house. From whichever book you are studying, you can follow. From the date of declaration, 5 days separate bank account. Then it should be paid within 30 days. This 5 days is inclusive of this 30 days. If it is not paid, or if it's not claimed within 30 days, then within the next 7 days, you will transfer to unpaid dividend account. If you don't transfer to unpaid dividend account, 12% of interest. Once I transfer to unpaid dividend account, you have 90 days. In this 90 days, you will prepare a report and put in the website of the company and central government. And after these 90 days, basically, overall, this balance money will stay in unpaid dividend account for 7 years, guys. It's not 90 plus 7, wrong. It's not 90 plus 7. The minute balance comes into unpaid dividend account, it will stay here for 7 years, guys, and after 7 years it goes to IEPF. Why after 7 years to IEPF? We don't know if company will be or not there, guys, so it goes to IEPF. Now I have a question for you, sir. What if once money came to unpaid dividend account, company is closed within 4 years? Then when company is getting closed, even though 7 years is not yet over, you will transfer to IEPF, guys. This is how ICA can ask us questions. Now when you come to IEPF, there are two things. Fund, how money credits, money will come into this account, and debits, how money will be used from this account. Let me explain that. And also we have committee. What is the committee of IEPF? The chairman of the committee is the secretary of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So secretary of MCA is the chairman of the committee. Then minimum there are 6 and maximum 7 members. Now this committee, once they use the funds, once they get the funds, this authority is audited by C&AG. The C&AG will give a report, and this report every year will be presented in both houses of the parliament. Procedural aspect, guys. Now how this fund will be used? Debit is usage, Credit is how money comes into the account, and same thing I have given over here. Let me summarize the point. Basically, credits are simple. In the entire Companies Act, shares, debentures, deposits, preference shares, all these, equity and debt, and on this equity, dividend is payable, on this debt, interest is payable. Wherever this is payable or deposits which is repayable, once its respective due dates get over, and if it's still not paid or not claimed, and 7 years gets over, it will come over here. For example, look at this case, unpaid dividend account we just now saw, then application money received and not refunded for more than 7 years, matured deposits, matured debentures, redeemable preference shares where 7 years get over, interest accrued on the above and 7 years got over, sale of fractional shares, I want to give cash to the shareholder but he is not able to claim, then significant beneficial owner, all shares and benefits arising out of SBO. Then amount received to disgorgement, we have in prospectus chapter, if you make application in fictitious name and get the shares, then the shares allotment will be cancelled and money has to be refunded. That money will not be refunded, it will come over here, it's called disgorgement. Interest or other income received out of investment made from this fund, guys. How I will use this fund, or any other donations by central government or state government. How I can use this fund? Can I use this fund for my personal use? No. It can be used for refund. After 7 years, after 20 years, anybody will come and claim the money. It's my money. You will refund the money for those people. Then any class action suit, in prospectus chapter, we will see section number 37, which is class action suit. For that, let's say public are cheated by fraud. They are all coming together and filing a case. For that, government will take over the expenses. Any promotion of investor education and promoting all these things, you will see all these ads, mutual funds subject to market risk, all those things. And if any company has cheated and public have suffered, sometimes this fund will compensate them. Distribution of discord amount, basically to people who have suffered loss due to wrong action by other person. This is section 125, guys. With this, I am done with section 127 along with Nidhi Company, 124 unpaid dividend account, and 125 IEPF and structure of IEPF committee. Lastly, remember guys, dividend is one thing. Dividend has to be paid only in cash through banking channels, and whatever dividend is declared by the company, shareholders can accept as it is, or they can ask for a lower dividend, but they can never ask for a higher dividend. This is basics of dividend. Now let's move on to the next chapter, guys. Hi guys, now let's start off with interpretation of statutes. Now this is one topic that most students take it lightly, but exam you always get between 6 to 8 marks. At least read these concepts. I'm going to teach you the concepts and show what are the keywords. First is doctrine of nocictar a socis and contemporano exposito. These two basically belong in the secondary rules. In rules of interpretation, we have two types, guys. We have primary rules and we have secondary rules. In secondary rules, both these will come here. So what are these, guys? Basically, these are the two rules that we have here, which is doctrine of nocictar a socis and doctrine of contemporano exposito. Now in exam, are we having viva? Are they going to ask you, come and pronounce with me, I will listen? No. They will either give the rule name and ask you to explain, or they will give a concept and ask you to explain which rule it is. So we have to understand the concept and what are the keywords over here. And this doctrine of nocictar a socis is also known as rule of associated words. Sir, what is all this, sir? I want to understand the concept over here. For example, if I use the word plant and machinery. Now, if I use the word only machinery and if I use the word only plant, sir, what are you saying, sir? I'm not understanding. Give it for exam. Look at this. If I use the word only plant, it means it's a rose plant near my house, or it's some, let's say any plant in my house, tulsi plant, whatever. But if I use the word plant along with machinery, it means you read both together, the meaning will change. That's what they're saying in rule of doctrine of nocictar a socis. So over here what they're saying, when two or more words are susceptible of analogous meeting, are coupled together. Susceptible of analogous meeting means individually different meaning, but when they are coupled together as a couple, when they come together, they are to be understood in their cognate sense, in a different sense. They take it as if they are color from each other. They absorb the meaning from each other, guys. That's it. In simple words, when two or more words are associated with each other, read them together instead of reading them individually. Read the keywords, go right in the exam. And we have to give some example also. I have given you an example that commercial establishment means an establishment of business, trade or profession. Now this word of business, trade or profession is used in Factories Act. So normally profession includes CA profession, doctor profession, all of that. But when I use commercial establishment under Factories Act, the word business, trade or profession will not include CA practice or doctor practice. It will be basically read together and it will be more of an establishment which is commercial under the Factories Act. I hope you understood the first one. Next, the rule of doctrine of contemporano exposito. Very simple. They will tell, those days, no, my grandfather, all those people, they used to walk, they never used to use the phone, they used to stay home and sleep early by 7-8 p.m. Nowadays the Gen Z, we are all staying awake till night 2, 3, 4, 5. We will tell, see, those days it made sense, but today with technology, lights, everything, people are working in the night. Let me give another example. If you see in Indian Contract Act, they will tell race horse betting more than 500, less than 500. 500 rupees itself is a limit. Doesn't make any sense, no. In 1950, no. In 1872, when Contract Act came, 500 made sense. But today it doesn't make sense. So what they are saying, this doctrine is based on the concept that a statute or a document is to be interpreted by referring to the exposition it has received from the contemporary authority. What does it mean? It means law should be understood in the same sense in which it was understood at the time when it was passed. So try to understand something at the time when it was passed, it will make sense. For example, sir, I want example for exam. In Companies Act, we have section 56, transfer and transmission of shares, sir. Physical transfer. That section is still there. But today DMAT is there, no sir. When the act was formed at that time, it made sense. Same thing I have given over here in the material. You will just read in simple words, what does it mean, guys? So in exam and interpretation of statutes, you will explain what the doctrine means in your own words, attach the keywords as much as possible, and then give one example. Example carries marks in interpretation of statutes, guys. Next, elements of a document, interpretation of deeds and document. This I have been saying for a very, very long time. Still they have yet to test this in the new syllabus. Interpretation of deeds and documents, guys. Okay. Interpretation of deeds and documents can come straightforward for a 4-mark question. Under this, we have 3 sub-rules. We have golden rule, we have elementary rule, we have conflict resolution. Each is separate. I will give you a conceptual example, then quickly we will go and understand. What is golden rule? Imagine I put a poster, join CA Inter, Group 2, Group 1 class with us for subsequent exams, or share it with your juniors. In that, instead of putting fees as 25,000 or 30,000, by mistake I added one more zero. So fees is showing over there as 3 lakhs. Now students came over here. After came to class, everyone paid 25-30. Can I tell, hey, poster is having 3 lakhs. You have to pay one more zero. Come on guys, everyone pay extra balance 2.5, 2.7 lakhs. Nobody will pay. So what they are trying to say, when I draft legal agreements, now again follow, interpretation of deeds and documents versus interpretation of statutes. This entire chapter, what all do we have over here in the entire chapter over here? We have primary rules, we have secondary rules, we have internal aids and external aids, correct? All this, 99% of this chapter refers to interpretation of statutes, a law made by Parliament. Interpretation of deeds and documents are what we make between us. For example, rental agreement, or let's say a contract between 2 companies. In that, if there is any mistake in the drafting, an example I give in my class, they will say rent to be paid is 5 lakhs. But when I write 5 lakhs in numbers, I will put one more zero and show as 50 lakhs. And when I write 5 lakhs in words, I am writing 5 lakhs. So that is the first rule, golden rule. What is golden rule saying? With this example, let's go read the points. We have to remember just these 3 points. Golden rule is saying, first read the document as a whole. And then circumstance in which the particular words are to be used is considered. CA inter class means 30,000, 20,000 is the fees. 3 lakhs means it's a mistake in the poster. So read the document as a whole. Just because there's a mistake in the poster, you don't have to pay 3 lakhs. Look at the description, look at the payment link, read it as a whole and it will make sense. Rental agreement, one place by mistake instead of 5 lakhs, I wrote 50 lakhs. But entire document, the square feet, the location of the property, the contract, the past experience, everything, the circumstance where it's used to be taken, and they are saying who drafted this? Parliament drafted. No, you and I drafted. We are humans. We will make mistake. Of course, Parliament itself is making mistake. Why can't we make mistakes here? So the status and the training of the parties using the words have to be taken into consideration. I cannot simply tell because the document is there, I will come and fool you over here. Come pay me 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. No. The training of the parties, the experience of people who drafted this should be taken into consideration. So what agreements, this interpretation of deeds and documents, contracts, rental agreements, all these will come here. These are the 3 points. If you write, you will get 3 marks in your pocket, guys. Next is elementary rule. Now, what is elementary rule saying? One word will have one meaning. For example, in a rental agreement, I am writing plant and machinery like generator should be kept in the terrace. And then I'm writing in the next page, no plants should be kept near plants and machinery. Now, generally the word plants means rose plant, all of that. But when I have plants and plant and machinery, the same word plant is used multiple times in the document. Generally, they are saying the word plant should have the same meaning across the document. If there is a change, circumstance will give the change. So they are saying elementary rule of construction that the same word cannot have 2 different meanings in the same document unless the context compels the adoption of such a course. For example, in the agreement I am putting, you have to post, I am doing an agreement with a celebrity. Celebrity is saying, okay, I will come and help you endorse this brand. Let's go and provide quality mental health support. Now, if I use the word mental health across the document, it has the same meaning. I cannot tell mental health in page 1 will have a different meaning. Mental health in page 4 will have a different meaning. I hope you're getting it. Sir, elementary rule for exam, what is the meaning, sir? For exam, the meaning is a word used in the document will have same meaning across the document. Unless the context is different, then we can have different meaning. Third is conflict resolution. Sir, within the contract, what if there is some, the contract is not, page 1 and page 2 is different. For example, I bought a movie ticket and went to PVR. Movie ticket is saying, in first page it's saying, outside food not allowed. Second page note it's giving, water bottle and food is allowed. Now I'm confused. One page is saying food not allowed, one page is saying food allowed. So what to do? What you will do if there's a conflict in life, guys, you will make it bigger. The goal of the conflict is, if anything is there, any problem is there in our life, we will try to find a solution and fix it. We will try our best. If we are not able to fix it, then what to do? Same thing over here. If there's a conflict between 2 or more clauses of the same document, PVR ticket, effort must be made to resolve the conflict by interpreting the clause so that all the clauses are given to effect. If, however, it is not possible to give effect to all of them, then it is the earlier clause will override the later one, because when I take PVR ticket, first I saw first page only, no. So what I read first only stands first. What is there in second, third, fourth page doesn't matter. So for interpretation of documents, guys, first page will override subsequent pages if there is a conflict. Summary of interpretation of deeds and document, first golden rule. For golden rule, read document as a whole, then see the context and circumstance where it's used. Look at the training and expertise of the people who have drafted the same. Elementary rule, same word will have same meaning across the document unless the context is different. Third one, conflict resolution. If there's a conflict, try to fix it. If you're not able to fix, what is first will override what is later, guys. But in laws, if there are 2 laws, one law is coming in 1970, one law is coming in 2020, for example, both laws are still active. But now both these laws are conflicting with each other, then the later law will override the earlier law, guys. Later law will override the earlier law. Logic over here is, this is after many years or even after a few years. So when I drafted the 2020 Act, I had the knowledge about 1970 Act. But in document, it's not like that. In document, the earlier paragraph will override the later paragraph. So if I am an examiner, I will ask this concept, comparing statute with document, earlier and later comparison. I hope this point is also clear for all of you. Next, in internal aids, I told you already by giving the expected question, it's been a long time since they have tested internal and external aids in exam. Last 2 attempts they have tested only rules. So this time it's important, internal aids. Here I'm discussing only marginal notes, preamble or explanation. But given the time for you, if you have already prepared, guys, try to go through all the internal aids, because we have only 8 internal aids. Sorry, we have only 10 internal aids. Go through everything. So first I told you I will be taking up marginal notes. What is marginal notes? Generally, when an act is passed, it goes to two House of Parliament, then President signs it. After President signs it, before they circulate, in the side of the act, they will add some notes. So these notes were not there when it was presented to House of Parliament and President signed. Therefore, question is, can I use marginal aids for interpretation? Answer is no. Why no? They are not part of the enactment, for they were not present when the act was passed in Parliament, but inserted after. Therefore, they are not an aid for construction. Same thing you can read over here. What is marginal note? Basically a side note we write in our book. No, it's a summary of everything that we have written over here, guys. So that is one. And generally marginal notes are used in Constitution of India. Then the next one I told you was preamble or explanation. Come to preamble. They have asked many times in the past, if they're going to ask you past exam questions, what is preamble? Again, I'm telling you, if you don't have time for this chapter, at least learn the internal external aids quickly, guys, because more important this time. So preamble basically tells the scope, object and purpose of the act. In regular class I will show you. Purpose of the act of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code is to consolidate all the acts related to insolvency. Purpose of GST Act is to consolidate all the acts related to goods, VAT, all the acts of service tax into one act. So preamble may recite the ground and basically why this act is brought into it. What is the purpose of the act? This is the answer for exam. Now, can I use preamble for interpretation? No, preamble was there when this was sent to Parliament. Parliament approved, President approved. Therefore, they are saying preamble can be used for interpretation only if the act, the section is not giving a clear object. If section is giving confusing interpretations, then interpret in the way based on the object what is given in the preamble. The preamble of statute is part of the enactment and can legitimately be used for constructing it. However, of course, nothing can override section. Section stands on top, everything else is before that. However, preamble does not override the plain provision of the act, but if the words of the statute give rise to doubt as to its proper construction of preamble, can be sought for arriving at proper construction. For example, Income Tax Act, gift in marriage is exempt. Sir, I'm getting married 10 times, sir. Then I will get gift 10 times, everything exempt. So in that case, I have multiple interpretations. Go to preamble to take the object. Object of this chapter, object of this act is to provide for proper accounting of income. Therefore, court will decide accordingly, guys. Next one. Preamble and explanation. Okay, what is explanation? Sometimes you will see in certain sections when there is confusion, the section itself will give an explanation. Classic example, again this chapter we can give examples. Classic example is section number 42, which is private placement. Private placement, guys. What is private placement? Private placement, you know, I've discussed this anyway in Prospectus chapter when I'm giving it to you. So in private placement, if you see, guys, what they are saying, maximum number of people to whom I can give private placement in a year is 200. That time I would have asked you a question. 200. Is this 200 for one security or multiple securities? It's 200 for equity, 200 for preference, 200 for debentures. This clarification was given in section 42 in explanation. So in exam, if explanation comes, the example you are going to give is section 42, private placement, where it gives an explanation that 200 is for each class of securities. Each type of securities. Explanation at times is to explain the meaning of certain words or phrases used in the section. An explanation may be added to include something or exclude something within it. Therefore, explanation should be normally read as harmonies for clear and ambiguity in the main section. So if you have some ambiguity, confusion in main section, explanation will guide you. It's part of the section itself and approved by Parliament also. It should not be construed as widen or ambit the section. Basically, explanation should give you a clarification for section. It cannot widen the scope a little more. That's what they have given over here. So these are the 3 internal aids I have given in my expected question, guys. Go through everything else accordingly. Then rule of literal construction or reasonable construction or mischief rule. Now I'm going to primary rules. So in primary rules, I'm going to take up 3 rules based on expected question. What are the 3 rules, guys? Rule of literal construction, reasonable or marginal. So first rule, literal. Then we have reasonable, or also known as golden rule. And we also have the mischief rule, also known as Hayden's rule. What is literal construction? That's the first rule. It's also called in exam. Instead of literal construction, they will also call this as grammatical interpretation. Grammatical interpretation, simple. Exam is from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Clear? What's the confusion? Don't ask me, sir, 2 p.m. means 2 or 2 5 p.m. will I get extra 10 minutes, sir? Question paper came late for me. Nothing. When the provision is clear, you can easily follow it. Go write that. Simple. How to write example for this? Section 123. Dividend can be an example you write in exam. Dividend declared. Once declared should be transferred to separate bank account in 5 days. Paid within 30 days. When the law is clear, follow what is there. There is no ambiguity. That only is grammatical or literal construction. Let me read the keywords for you. Revise this with me. Whichever book you are following, guys, same points will be there. It's a cardinal rule, means like a principle, like how you have the heart of the system. So cardinal rule, the primary rule, which says the statute must be constructed literally and grammatically given the and giving the words their ordinary and natural meaning. Therefore, language used in statute must be construed in its grammatical sense. Okay. This paragraph you will read by yourself, guys. I don't want to take time just highlighting. I don't like to teach like that. Therefore, it's the primary duty of the court to interpret the words used in the legislation according to their ordinary grammatical meaning in absence of any ambiguity or doubt. So, this rule comes whenever there is no ambiguity or doubt, guys. Sir, what to do if there's ambiguity or doubt? Go to next rule, that is rule of reasonable construction or golden rule of construction. What is golden rule? Whenever a loophole comes, whenever a doubt comes, how to interpret? Interpret based on the object of the act which is given in the preamble. So generally, the words or phrase of a statute are to be given their ordinary meaning, which is nothing but my literal construction. It is only when the words of an enactment are capable of two constructions, that is, there is scope for interpretation or construction, then interpretation is further. Then you will take the interpretation which furthers the object, and we will not take the interpretation which is going to defeat or impair the object, guys. So when grammatical in the circles are basically what I have given the summary over here, guys. So when grammatical interpretation leads to certain absurdity, it is permissible to depart from the interpretation and give an interpretation to avoid the absurdity. Are you following, guys? Okay. The departure from the grammatical construction is permissible only to the extent it avoids its absurdity and no further. Courts are allowed to deviate in these cases. So courts are allowed to deviate from the literal construction and go to reasonable construction if there is an absurdity to clear that absurdity. Same example of Income Tax Act gift you can write here. Now gift I'm getting, let's say I'm marrying 3 to 4 times. Is it allowed, sir? Then the court will take reasonable interpretation and see what is the genuine case over here. So what court will see over here? Okay, somebody is getting married for second or third time. Genuine divorce case, fine, I will give the benefit. Simply this fellow is using marriage as an excuse and conducting marriage every year so that he can get some exemption. Then court will tell, no, you are trying to use the loophole, not allowed. Next one is the hindrance rule or mischief rule. We have seen in so many acts across that whenever there is a loophole in the act, government will come and do amendment. That is only there over here. So what is this? These are the 4 points you have to write if mischief rule comes. First, what was the law before making the act? So there was, before making this amendment, what was the act? What was the defect, mischief or hardship caused by the earlier law? So there is one law. In this law, there is a mischief. Mischief is nothing but loophole. But don't write loophole, use the word mischief. Now, how does the parliament seek to resolve or cure the mischief or deficiency? For this classic example that you can write is as per Income Tax Act section 54 EC, current act, guys, not the new act. 54 EC, exemption, they used to say, exemption is there for within 6 months from date of sale. Earlier, what people used to do, they used to sell in such a way that benefit used to come in multiple financial years. Now there was a loophole, that was the mischief. Parliament seek to revolve the mischief by saying the exemption can be claimed only once, irrespective of how many other financial years. So what are the true reasons for the remedy? So mischief rule is basically where language used in statutes capable of more than one interpretation and both actually make sense. The most firmly established rule for construction principle is an hindrance rule. So mischief rule means people are taking benefit of loopholes. Therefore, court and the government using this will pass an amendment to get away from the loophole. After that also, if you are finding loophole, then court will tell this amendment came to cover the loophole. If it is still there and if you are still trying to find ways to escape from it, then I will deviate from the Bar Act interpretation. Are you following, guys? Again, I'm giving you quick concepts, guys. Ideally, I will need more time to explain these in detail, showing you these examples and all in the class, but we don't have time for all of that. Next, rule for exceptional construction. What is rule for exceptional construction, guys? Yeah, so exceptional construction is basically sometimes and will be read as or. For example, section 127, if you see dividend, declaration of dividend, they will tell 18% interest plus imprisonment, and imprisonment they will tell. Sir, I did only, for example, 2 days delay, sir. Instead of 30 days, I paid dividend in 32 days. For 2 days delay, I will pay 18% interest. Don't put me in jail for this and all, sir. So court will tell, okay, here and I will read it as or, and there will not be an imprisonment over here. I'm reading it as or. Like this, sometimes or will also be read as and where it requires importance. Same way, sometimes may is read as shall and shall is read as may. So you will go through this words. Generally, may is directive provision, shall is mandatory provision. What is important over here? This part is important for me because there are three points below. Cases where may shall be read as shall, and case where shall be read as may. I have given three points. At least remember this. These are the 3 cases where even though act is using the word may, we will read it as shall. What are that? Where the subject involves a discretion coupled with an obligation. So discretion is basically directive, optional, but there is an obligation. There is an obligation. What is the obligation? Power is given with a duty to discharge the obligation. For example, I will tell students may write the exams in May 26 attempt. Now, it's an option for you, but you have an obligation to write the exam and pass. So even though may is there, you will treat in your head as shall. Even though if you are not prepared, go and write the exam as a mock test. Anyway, exam fee is paid. Simply go show up, guys. What's going to happen? What if you pass? So may is read as shall. Where the word may has been used in statute as a pure conventional courtesy. For formality purpose, I used may, sir. Actually, it's shall only. How will I know that, sir? In the context where it's used, you will understand that. Third, using may as a directive provision might defeat the object of the act. So if I use may as directive provision, what is directive provision? If I use it as optional, it will defeat the object of the act, or it will give some damages to the public. I have clubbed 2 points into 1 point over here. These 3 points you will memorize. No other option, guys, especially in this chapter. Next, when shall will be read as may. When it's used against the government shall pass an order within 13 days. Don't tell the government, don't give them time limits. Government will tell, I shall pass the order in 30 days, but I will read it as, I may pass the order in 30 days. When the intention of the legislature show demands. So basically, this second point are similar, where both cases, may's intention is shall, shall's intention is may. Then, where giving it a mandatory interpretation would result in absurd results. If I make it as shall, dividend once declared, shall be paid within 1 day. If the act is framed like that, it's absurd. How can I pay in 1 day? I need some more time. So here, shall will be read as may, because if reading as shall, it's giving me an absurd result, guys. These are the 3 cases of when may as shall and shall as may. Go through this also. Next, rule of exceptional construction. Hayden's rule only I wrote over here 2 times. Mischief rule and Hayden's rule are the same, guys. Next, definition in external aids, we have dictionary definition, foreign decision, and earlier and later law, and usage. So if I come down to external interpretations, in external also we have roughly about, in external only 5 points are there, guys. External aids, here I'm going to teach for you. What are the points I marked over here? Dictionary, foreign decisions, earlier and later law, and usage. So I will discuss usage, dictionary, foreign decisions, history, and earlier and later laws I already discussed. When there is a law in 2020, it will override the previous act. Here also they are trying to say in earlier and later laws, if 2 acts are conflicting each other. Classic example for this, Sale of Goods Act and Indian Contract Act. Sale of Goods Act is 1930, Indian Contract Act is 1872. Now both these acts have conflicting provisions related to sale of goods. When this happens, we will try our best to follow both, sir. If not able to follow both, go with the latest act. That only is there in earlier and later acts or We also call it as analogous acts, which is nothing but comparable acts. Next, historical setting, usage, dictionary and use of foreign decisions. Quickly I will give the concept and then we will go highlight the points under that. Historical setting is when an act comes, understand why that act came. For example, in 2013 we had an act called Nirbhaya Act. What is Nirbhaya Act saying? If anybody is involved, any minor also is involved, juvenile, in the act of rape, then he will be hanged to death even though he is a minor. Before, law was not like that. Why it happened? Everybody knows the Nirbhaya incident which happened in Delhi. Entire country went on a protest. So entire country wanted that to change. So because of that history, a new act came. So when an act comes, try to understand the history why it came, why GST came. Because when goods and service were separated, it caused hardship. So it came together. So for historical setting, they are saying the history of the external circumstances which led to the enactment in question is of much significance in construing any enactment. In understanding any act, try to understand the history also. So to understand an act better, take help from all those external or historical facts as to why this act came, guys. Okay. Next, usage. Sometimes act will tell something, but public will use it as something else. Then the usage will override the act. For example, they will tell in zebra crossing, as per Motor Vehicle Act, if you don't stop and you go beyond zebra crossing, then you will be arrested and put in jail. But nobody is following that in India, guys. They're anyway going ahead of that. So the court will tell the public is using something else which is not there in the act, then the usage will become the act, if at all an issue comes. So I'm just giving you an example of zebra crossing, guys. That's just for you to understand the context. Don't write that in exam, guys. Write only actual provisions. This refers to how the law has been used and interpreted over the years by the public. This has to be given importance while determining the meaning of the legislation. So court can change the interpretation even though something is not there in the act, but if public at large is following something, then we will go ahead with that and we will make that change. Next is dictionary definition. Question is, sir, I have a word, sir, in the act. For example, what is the word, sir? In interpretation of act, they are using the word consolidate. I don't know the meaning of consolidate, sir. What to do? They are saying first you go to section number 2 of the act. Why section number 2 of the act? Section number 2 only gives definition. So within the act, you search and see if you can find the definition of that word. Not defined in the acts, sir. They never define consolidation and all in any of the acts. Then they are saying go to General Clause Act. General Clause Act also it's not given, it's not defined. This point is not there in the study material, but practically I'm telling you, first check in the act, not there in the act, then go to General Clause Act, not there in General Clause Act also. Then what to do, guys? Then we will basically go to the dictionary. The Oxford Dictionary can be used. So what they are saying, first we have to refer to the act in question to find out if any particular word or expression is defined. Where we find that the word is not defined in the act itself, we may refer to dictionaries to find out the general sense in which word is commonly used. So what is the dictionary meaning of consolidate? Putting it together. So I will take with that meaning. Next, the use of foreign decisions. In Indian courts, can I use foreign case law for keeping as defense? In this country, this thing happened. You may say no. But the first thing you learnt in law, wherever you studied, is Solomon versus Solomon, one case law they were taught you in school or foundation to explain the concept of separate legal entity. Correct? So here what they are saying, foreign decisions of countries, Solomon versus Solomon is from UK. So we can follow that because UK is also democratic, India also democratic. Our judicial system and economic system is similar to UK, then we can follow. Sir, can I follow a case law from Chinese government? No, China is a communist country. It's more like a dictatorship. It's very different. Sorry, communist. North Korea is dictatorship. So I can't follow a ruling over there in India. Maybe you can follow from democratic countries where things are similar. And then the provision also says, first you go search in Indian law. Anywhere in Indian courts for same issue and judgment is there, then take that. If you can't find it, then only you will go for abroad. So foreign decisions of countries following the same system of jurisprudence as ours and given on laws similar to ours can be legitimately used for constructing our acts. However, prime importance is always to be given to the language of the Indian statute, and further where guidance can be obtained from Indian decisions, I can get guidance, then reference to foreign decisions may become unnecessary. Search in India, not finding out, go for foreign, and foreign if it matches in the same jurisprudence, then we can take it, guys. So these are the external aids I have given. Lastly, doctrine of adjustum generis, guys. So let me take doctrine of adjustum generis. Again, it comes in primary rules only. Rule of adjustum generis. Sir, what is adjustum generis? Let me give a simple example. I'm writing over here lion, tiger, cheetah and other animals. Now, when I write a sentence like lion, tiger, cheetah and other animals will include what? It will include jaguar, it will include leopard, it will include other wild animals. Can I put over here dog? Sir, my pet dog also, I will put it here. Yes, put them all in the same room. That's it. Dog is gone. Okay, so adjustum generis says when a general word is following a specific word, when a general word is following a specific word, the general word takes the meaning of the specific word, guys. Are you following, guys? In a classroom full of girls, if I keep one boy, teacher will think that boy is also girl. See, understand the sense in which I'm saying is I'm not trying to be, what to say here. Let me be diplomatic itself. Okay. Now come back to provision. Provision, what's important for me, guys? When a specific word pertaining to a class or category of genus, lion, tiger, cheetah, are followed by general words, other animals, the general words takes the same meaning as that of the specific word. Now this rule is applicable and it's not applicable in certain cases. In 4 cases it's not applicable. When the preceding term is general as well as that the following is also general. Animal and other animals. Before also general, later also general. Then which animal I will take? Nothing. So all terms are general. Nothing specific is there. This rule cannot be followed. Next, when the particular words exhaust the whole genus. Now I am writing lion, tiger, cheetah, and I am writing all the wild animal names, jaguar, leopard, wild boar. I am writing fox. I am writing all the wild animal names. Imagine there are some 500 wild animals. Example, I am writing all the wild animals and I am writing other animals. Who are the other animals? In your classroom, if there are 40 students in school, I am listing down Akash, Rahul, Vishwas, then I am writing down Shruti, writing all their names, Pooja, etc. And then I am writing other students of the class. Who are the other students? Everybody's name I already wrote. No, nobody else is there. So that's the second point. When the particular word exhausts the whole genus means all terms are covered by the specific word. Next, where the specific words enumerated are essentially diverse in character. So I'm writing over here lion, parrot, snake and other animals. Now, even though they are specific words, lion belongs to wild animal, parrot is a domestic bird, snake is a reptile, and other animals means the specific word doesn't belong to the same class. It's so diverse in nature, so this rule cannot be applied. Where the specific objects are enumerated are essentially diverse in character. Next, where there is an express intention of legislature that the general term shall not be read adjustum generis to specific word. The law itself says don't follow this rule. Okay. Then the same rule applies. So these are the 4 cases when rule is not applicable. Opposite of this only is where the rule is applicable, guys. So this is the case where the rule is applicable. Statute basically opposite of these 4 points also go through. So if this comes in exam, you will first write this definition, then write these 5 points where the rule is applicable. Basically these are reverse of these points, and then we will write the exceptions. Sometimes they will ask only exceptions, then write only the exceptions, guys. With this, I am done with interpretation of statutes. Okay, and be clear with the Latin terms matching with the rules. What are the Latin terms matching with the rules, guys? Let me quickly tell you. These are the Latin terms that we have. Okay, so instead of literal construction, sometimes they will give in the question absoluta, senatia, exposita, non-indigent. Sir, I am not understanding anything, sir. what is this? I will give you clues to remember this. Rule of reasonable construction is also some things that, okay, even I can't read this clearly. I don't want to do it also for you guys. Now, no Viva, no. How to remember? If you see the word Maggie, Maggie is there. Everyone knows Maggie. Maggie means reasonable construction. Reasonably, it's okay to replace a dinner for some rainy days. That's it. Next, rule of harmonious construction. Some generalia, something is there. How to remember? Generalia. Genelia actress is there. Famous actress. Okay, she came in many movies. So Genelia comes means I will write harmonious. Why? She's acted in south, north, everywhere she's acted. So she's in harmony with the entire movie industry. So again remember, Maggie comes means reasonable. Genelia comes means what? Harmonious construction. Next, the contemporary exposito I explained to you. Again, in this word, you can see custom is the best interpretation. You can see here something is there. So how do I remember this? Ending is consonant and contemporary. C-O-N-S-C-O-N. So con is there means contemporary. I'm just trying to give you some lamest of lame ways in which you can connect the Latin term with this, because MCQ, if you see Maggie is what? What to say? Reasonable construction. Reasonable to have it on few days for dinner, but not every day. Last one, literal construction. Absolute. If you see the word absolute, absolutely I will follow this only, which is literal construction. So these are the Latin terms. Don't have to mug up. Just remember shortcuts to identify them. With this, interpretation of statutes is done. We spent almost 40 minutes, guys. Let me go on to the next set of acts. Let's start off now with General Clauses Act, guys. General clauses, another act which many students skip, but if you look at the past trend, 6 to 8 marks have been coming in the exam. So first, let me finish off definitions over here. We will start off with the same order what is given in the PDF for you for May exams. Document definition, affidavit, good faith, person or month definition. So if you go to my material, I have given all the definitions over here, but first let me focus on the definitions I have marked. So first is document, affidavit and good faith. Let me come down to the definition of document. So document, we have the definition over here. Before you go to the definition, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Your notebook, is it document? You will tell yes. This screen where you're watching this class in your phone or system you're watching, no. Is this a document? That screen, you may tell yes or no. You went to beach with your girlfriend, boyfriend. There you drew an heart symbol on the mud and the water came and took it and went off. In that gap of that few minutes when that heart symbol was there, is that document? I went to cricket stadium, sir. In my full hand and forehead, I painted Dhoni, Rohit, Kohli. Is that head document in the cricket stadium? You may be thinking yes, no. Answer is yes, 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 yes for all. So basically they have defined document in such a way, it shall include, basically the entire para I have given it in simple words here, it shall include any matter. Well, any matter, it can be written by words or expressed or described upon any substance. It can be a screen, it can be notebook, it can be beach sand, it can even be your forehead. On any substance you're writing, expressing or describing the same. I'm using the letters as or no, by means of letters, figures or marks, or by more than one of those means. They're saying even if you scribble, that scribbling will come under marks. So basically what they're saying, on any substance, if you write, express or describe anything through means of letters, figures, marks or more than one of those means, why I'm writing this? I'm writing this to communicate something to someone or to myself which is intended to be used or which may be used for the purpose of recording that matter. Why I'm recording it for myself or somebody else? That's the definition of document, guys. Basically, example, book, file, painting, inscription and even computer files are all documents. However, exception, MCQ question they can ask, it does not include Indian currency notes. Money is not a good even in Sale of Goods Act and not a document as per General Clauses Act. Next, go to definition of good faith. Now, if you look at the definition of good faith, guys, this is the main definition what is given over here. What is it, sir? A thing shall be deemed to be done in good faith when in fact it is done honestly, whether it is done negligently or not. So in Sale of Goods Act, we would have learnt a concept called caveat emptor, which says let the buyer beware. That means If I am careless, then I am responsible. But this definition is opposite. Good faith says where something is done honestly, whether it is done negligently or not also, even if it is done carelessly, as per General Clauses Act, it is still good faith. So we have General Clauses Act, we have Sale of Goods Act. Now General Clause Act is saying even if you do it carelessly and negligently, it's good faith. But Sale of Goods Act is saying no, we have the concept of caveat emptor. If you do it carelessly, you're only responsible. I told you in interpretation of statutes, which act will override which act when there is conflict. The later law, Sale of Goods Act concept of good faith will override General Clause Act, not Sale of Goods Act. Yes, sorry, we have the concept in Indian Contract Act also, Indian Contract Act, and also it's there in Sale of Goods Act also, guys. Sale of Goods Act we have. So basically what they're trying to say here, the question of good faith is one fact based on circumstance of each case. Good faith is defined in other acts also, Sale of Goods Act, Indian Contract Act. So if there's a conflict, follow the good faith which is defined in that particular act. Now what is the conflict between General Clauses Act and Indian Contract Act? Indian Contract Act says a honest purchase made carelessly without making proper enquiries cannot be have said to be done in good faith, cannot be have said to be done in good faith, Indian Contract Act. So for exam, as per General Clauses Act, we will go with the saying point of negligently is allowed, but as per Indian Contract Act, not allowed. So practically what are you and me following? We are following what is there in Indian Contract Act only, guys. Sale of Goods Act, what is there? We are following that. So in exam, if a question comes, we will write the definition and you will write as per Indian Contract Act, it has to be done in good faith without being careless case. So these are all the points you should write, and this has come for so many times in the past for 3 marks. Next, definition of person. Not that important, but what if they ask? So how you have definition of person in Income Tax Act? Here also we have the definition of person. Person should include a company, association or body of individuals, whether incorporated or not. Straightforward, simple definition. We are done with person, done with good faith, done with document. I still have affidavit and month in the first line. So if I go to month, what is month? Month shall mean a month reckoned according to the British calendar. What is British calendar? It is your Jan, Feb, March, what you and I know. Now we are in May month. May is 31 days. But in Income Tax Act month, every month is considered as 30 days. They don't keep it as 31. So for General Clause Act, month is what you and I know. Calendar year, we call it as British calendar year. With that, I'm done with month definition. Let me go to affidavit. What is affidavit, sir? Now, remember in exam, if they ask you definition of affidavit, or if they ask you definition of oath, or if they ask you definition of swear, you have to write the same answer, because all these three have the same definition: affidavit, oath and swear. What is this? You have seen any movie, whether you're watching from North India, South India, any part of the country you're watching this, you would have seen in many movies, in that courtroom climax scene, that person will come and put promise on Bhagavad Gita, Quran or Bible, and they will tell, I promise I'm telling the truth. They will make one statement. That is an affidavit. In that, what they are saying, that is an affidavit in the courtroom. Otherwise, sometimes I will give it in written document. Affidavit with its grammatical variations and cognate expressions. What do you mean by grammatical variations? You don't expect people in the courtroom to exactly pronounce the way they have to pronounce it. Sometimes they'll be crying and telling, sometimes they will tell it happily, sometimes they will tell it angry. So with cognate expressions and grammatical variations of your natural language shall include affirmation, what promise I am giving, and declaration I am giving, in case of persons by law allowed to affirm or declare instead of swearing. This is the definition. So basically the above definition is inclusive in nature. It includes that affidavit should include and affirm declaration. The definition does not define affidavit. It says what is affidavit. However, we can understand in this term in general parlance, affidavit is a written statement confirmed by oath or affirmation for use of evidence in court or before any authority. Sometimes when you do CA exams, in CA exams we know for all the students we have 3 hours. But for certain students with disabilities, ICA allows exam for 4 hours. So that time they will come to a qualified CA and get a certification saying that yes, this student has a disability, please ICA give extra 1 hour. Or sometimes I have given scholarship approval for many students across Tamil Nadu and India. So that time I will give a declaration saying that yes, this student has an income which is below the limit set by ICA. It's an affidavit given by us, written statement. This point is also done for you. Next, let me finish off other definitions also. Definition of financial year: commencement or government or official gazette. Let me finish these two. Let me start off with financial year and government, guys. So if I go to financial year, they've asked this question left, right, center many times in exam in the past. So if it repeats, financial year, what is financial year? As per General Class Act, you know financial year is April to March. Correct, guys? As per General Class Act, what is it? Same. It is the same thing. Financial year means the year commencing on the first date of April. The term year also is defined. So financial year is April to March. Year is nothing but calendar year as per British calendar year, Jan to December, guys. So financial year is April to March. Next definition: government and commencement. Now government, what is definition of government, guys? In school days, in social studies, you would have studied government, that 4 lions, 1 emblem is there. They will tell from whichever angle you look at that emblem, you can see only 3 lions. Who is the 4th lion? I am the 4th lion, like that, whatever they used to say, guys. Those 3 lions are the 3 executive roles of the government. So government includes both central and state government. That's obvious. Every definition of government includes central and state government. And those 3 lions, those 3 departments of government, those 3 wings is legislature, law, executive, operational, administrative department, and judiciary, courts. So these are the 3 departments of government: legislature, law, then you have executive, operational, and judiciary, court. But in narrow sense, it's only used to connote the executive only. Meaning to the assigned expression, therefore depends on the context where it is used. What is government securities? Securities issued by central and state government. Both central and state government is covered over here. In exam, don't write 3 lines and all, guys. That's for you to recollect what you did in your social class in school. If you didn't do, means okay, fine, very good school. Okay. Next definition: commencement and official gazette. So what is commencement? When an act is coming into force. Now everybody knows that the new income tax is coming, and I hope you all know that new Companies Act also is coming next year in 2027. Bill is rotating in the parliament. Depends on when our Nirmala Didi will pass that bill. So 2027, lot of amendments will come. Before that, you will all clear and only look at your juniors, write that, guys. So when commencement will come, basically when the act goes to 2 House of Parliament, and from there it goes to President for signing. Generally, when the president signs, from that day it comes into force. However, when he is signing that letter, if that letter has some other date, then it comes into force from that date. Commencement means when the act is in effect. Mostly they will tell 1st April is when act is in effect. So commencement with reference to an act or regulation shall mean the day on which the act or regulation comes into force. Coming into force or entry into force, also known as commencement, refers to the process by which legislation, regulation, treaties, or other legal instruments have legal force and effect. Notes: in this, where a date is not mentioned in the act, date of commencement will be the date on which the president has given assent. So generally when he is signing, in the signing letter some other date is there, means that day it's commenced. No date is there, the day on which president is signing. For acts before commencement of Indian Constitution, president is not there before Constitution. So Governor General when he is signing. If any specified date of enforcement is prescribed in the official gazette, then from that date. Sir, simple for exam, what to remember, sir? For exam commencement, whatever date is there in official gazette, that date. If nothing is there, date on which president is signing, guys. Okay. Next. Proceed to official gazette. What is official gazette? Today, nowadays, where do you and me get news? Mostly we will use apps like this, InShot or Instagram stories or YouTube, we will go get the news. But where will the real news, come? It comes from a website called Official Gazette. So what is that website? If I have to show you, this is the Official Gazette website of the government, where all the updates are published by the government on this website. Regular classmates, we will go inside and look. Now election is going on. So regarding election, you have everything, whatever is the latest update on 4th May, what is the updates given? They have given over here, guys. So this thing is the official gazette. From the official gazette only, NDTV, Times Now, you, me, everybody will take the news and we will post and put memes on that. So basically, it's not the Twitter handle of Prime Minister. Before the Prime Minister puts a tweet, it will come in official gazette. It's like the official communication from government side to you. Those days it used to be a printed thing. Doctrine of Contemporary Expositor. Today it's a website, but when I read the provision, it's drafted in 1800s. So it used to be a printed thing. So look at this. The Gazette of India is a public journal and an authorized legal document of the Government of India. Today we publish it official gazette every day in the website, but for exam it's not every day. Exam it's published weekly. So it's the Gazette of India, public journal, an authorized legal document of the government to give its official news. It's published weekly by the Department of Publication, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. May be important for MCQ. Just quickly have a look. As a public journal, the Gazette prints official notices from the government. It is authentic in content, accurate, strictly in accordance with government policies and decisions. The Gazette is printed by the Government of India Press. Today it comes on the website which I showed you. So we are done with all the definitions. Now let me go to next set of points. Serving of post and object of General Clause Act. Why do we have General Clause Act? What is the object? If at all examiner is so bored, you will study everything, he will ask you object of why we have General Clause Act. These are the 4 points. One is to shorten the language. Why? Shorten the language of central acts. Terms like financial year, since it's defined in General Clause Act and all the other definitions it's defined over here, no need for this to be present in other acts. So other acts become small, guys. To provide as for uniformity of expression. Terms like financial year, government, official gazette, commencement, since they're all defined here, no need to define them in other acts. That's my point 1. And therefore, because these terms are defined here, the meaning of these terms is uniform in other acts. To state explicitly certain convenient rules for construction and interpretation, we are yet to see them. I will show you. Serving of post. So some other act will use the word registered post. What is the meaning? It comes from here. So it helps in construction and interpretation. To guard against slips and oversights by importing into every act certain common clauses. So whenever I am drafting every act, in every act if I have to define terms like affidavit, commencement, official gazette, sometimes I may miss some terms. If you miss some terms, and that act may not define what is financial year. So to guard against slips, we have it. These are the 4 points. Objects of why we have the General Clause Act. I think once they asked in the exam, it's been quite some time. Then the next one is serving of post, correct? So in serving of post, if you see, in serving of post, yeah. So whenever they use the word registered post, send dividend by post or send notice by post, the word post will have, where any legislation, Companies Act or regulation requires any document to be served by post. If I have to send any document by post, then unless a different intention appears, the service shall be deemed to be affected. So if I have to send something by post, these 3 things are mandatory. It should be properly addressed. The recipient's name and address I have to give. Prepaying means stamp should be there, and posting by registered post. So whenever they say serve notice by post, these 3 things should be there. What are these 3 things? Properly address, prepaying and posting by registered post. These 3 have to be there, guys. Okay. Then some case law summary of registered post. First one. Okay. If the word is saying in Act, Companies Act, if they're saying registered post acknowledgement due, if word is there, then you have to send by registered post acknowledgement due. You cannot send by registered post. Both are different. Registered post acknowledgement due means sometimes you will see when you get the courier, they will ask you to sign. I am acknowledging the receipt. Registered post means they will put in the post box and leave. Now, let's say I have sent a notice to the landlord. The landlord have to get it, but landlord gave a tenant. So where the notice is sent to landlord by registered post and the same is returned by tenant, it means the notice has been sent. Income tax notice sent to your house, you are the landlord, but you are not there, your tenant is there. He collected and gave it back. That means it's properly sent to you, guys. It is held that where the notice was sent by registered post to person concerned at proper address, it is deemed to be served upon him unless contrary is proved. You are staying in Mumbai. Now you shifted to Delhi. But I have only Mumbai address. So I sent it to Mumbai address. After 2 years, you are coming and fighting saying I never got the post, I'm in Delhi. I didn't know about it. So I sent it by registered post to post concerned the proper address which was given to me, no update given to me after that. So my work is done. So what is summary of these three case laws? First, registered post and registered post acknowledgement due are not the same. Wherever they use the word registered post acknowledgement due, send it as per that. Second, where notice is sent to your house which is registered and landlord sent it over there, but tenant is returning it back, means it's still validly sent. Basically, I send it to your house. Somebody else is staying there and gave it back. Still notice is valid. And third, if I send it to the address which was given to me, even if you have changed the address, the notice is valid unless I get the update from you to change the address. I didn't get, means I am not responsible. This is serving of post, guys. Post, an object of General Clause Act. Point 2 is also done. Now, section 19, official chiefs, 14, 16 and 18. So let me go to section number 19, which is official chiefs. Okay. So basically what I'm discussing, guys, I'm discussing powers and functionaries, which is section 14 to 19, under which we have 6 subpoints. In these 6 subpoints, I'm discussing only 4 things. What are the 4 things over here? 14, 16, 18 and 19. So I'm discussing 4 out of 6. What is it? 14, 16, 14, 16, 18 and 19. Yeah. So we will discuss 18 and 19. I'm discussing these 4. If you have time, read everything, guys. At least these 4. I'm giving all these comes under the heading of powers and functionaries. Why I categorize this as important is because lately I'm seeing more questions from this powers and functionaries. So first one, section 14, power conferred to excise from time to time. So what they are saying over here, I will read what is in simple words. In simple terms, various acts gives various power to different authorities. Such power does not have any time limit. They can be excised the same as and when required. For example, assessing officer in income tax can summon any person for any enquiry as and when required. So what the section says is, if a police constable in traffic has a power, he can stop any vehicle anytime. When he has the power in the duty, he can exercise it whenever he wants. Class teacher in the class can call your parents anytime to complain. You can't tell, only in parent teachers meet you can complain, guys. So when a power is given to anybody in authority, they can exercise it whenever they can in their authority, in their time. Okay, next. Question 16. Power to appoint to include power to suspend or dismiss. I appointed you as class leader in my class. Now I am dismissing you and changing. Can you tell, no sir, you can only appoint me, you can't dismiss? If I have the power to appoint you, I can also dismiss you. So the authority having the power to appoint somebody can also have the power to dismiss or suspend somebody. Are you getting it, guys? Let's say a senior police is appointing a constable. I can also dismiss the same person. Next, come down. Successors. In simple terms, if intimation is made to any functionaries, it is as well deemed the same is made to a successor also. For example, in a company, if there is a CFO, the department is coming and giving an update to CFO that all these are the acts that you have to follow. Now this CFO resigned and a new CFO joined. Now department should again come and intimate him. No. Intimating to one person is deemed to intimate to the successor also, guys. Are you getting what I'm saying? For example, CA Institute told now in CA final there are only 2 attempts. So everybody who are planning to write now who are planning to write in September 26 couldn't write in September 26. They had to write in November 26. This applies not only for September 26 students, all the successor students of September 27, 28, 29. For them also they have to write only in the next attempt, guys. In the next November attempt. So what is applicable to you is applicable to your successors as well. Okay. You will read and write as per what is there in the key terms over here. Next, official chief and subordinate. For example, let me read this. A law related to the chief or superior of an office shall apply to the deputies or subordinates lawfully performing the duties of that office in place of their superior to prescribe the duty of the superior. What they're saying, I'm giving an example. If certain law is applicable to deputy director, head, I'm calling him as Srinivasan of customs. So deputy director Srinivasan customs, if his assistant Saravanan is doing his work, so deputy director Saravanan's assistant Srinivasan's assistant Saravanan is doing the work, then the law shall be applicable for assistant as well. Simple. If a law is applicable to captain of a team, then the same law is applicable to the vice captain and everybody else to whom the captain is delegating that work. I hope you understood, guys. Okay. For example, if let's say BCCA is giving some instruction, they will pass on the message to the captain of the team. It is deemed that the entire team, the next captain and the subordinates are aware of the same, guys. These are the what to say, 4 points I have seen, but please, if you do have the time, go through these two also. I have given in simple terms what it means as well. Okay, let me proceed to next one. This is done. So question in General Clause Act 1, 2, 3 and 4 is done. Next we have section number 5 and section point 5, 6 and 7. Next let me go to section 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13 and 8. So let me go and mark that and explain that to you. That will be there in my key provisions from entire act. So it is 9, section 9, section 10. Okay, since I'm just marking in the book because in expected questions I just gave section numbers 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'll come here 9, 10, 11, 12 is not that important because they asked in latest attempt, but just in case if it repeats because many of them made mistake, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and section number 8 is very important because they have yet to test it. Section number 8 we have. And then effect of repeal is also something I want to discuss in the expected question. Lastly, section 22, provision for effective date of rules, and 23, provision to make bylaws. So in the end I will be having that 23, provision for bylaws, and 22, effective date for making laws. So let me quickly discuss this. These are basically the important sections over here. So section 9 is commencement and termination of time. So whenever they use the word from, dividend has to be declared within 30 days from the date of declaration. So if I say dividend has to be declared within 30 days from today, I will not count today, I will count from tomorrow. So for example, if dividend is declared on 1st July 26 and they say it has to be paid within 30 days from this date, then for counting 30 days, I will count only from 2nd July 26 onwards. This is my first day, guys. This is not counted. Sir, what is the logic? I tell the logic in the class, but since I told you no, logic is, what if I declare at night 11 p.m. or night 7 p.m.? One day is already wasted, no. So from next day. And if they use the word to, the deadline ends to this date. So to which day, for example, if they say to 31st October 26, then it ends on this day only. It's not one day before. It's to 31st October till that day. So in simple words, from is used to exclude the day from which a deadline starts, and to is used to include a day on which the deadline is going to end. Section 9. Question next, section number 10. Very important. In Negotiable Instrument Act and other acts, they will tell you if a due date falls on a holiday, and if that holiday is a public holiday which you already know, then the due date is previous day. And they will say if it's an emergency holiday, death of somebody or whatever, guys, then they will say due date is the next day. But here, this is the provision, but beautifully it says here computation of time. Here they don't care about Negotiable Instrument Act. Practically we follow what's there. But as per General Clause Act, this is very important for this attempt of May 26. If not for May, it will be coming in your September exam. If September students are watching, guys, in simple terms, where a due date as per the law falls on a holiday, whether it's an emergency holiday or a pre-planned holiday, it becomes the next day. No, not the next day. It becomes the next working day. So, sir, it's Monday is the due date, sir. Monday government declared leave. It becomes Tuesday or no? Tuesday also leave, sir. Government gave Monday, Tuesday leave. Then Wednesday, it becomes the next working day. So in simple terms, the due date falls on a holiday. The due date shall be deemed to be extended by 1 day, not by 1 day normally, on the day on which authority is next open. So due date fell on Friday, sir. Friday the department is closed, then emergency holiday. Department is closed for 20 days. Then the due date gets extended by 20 days till when the authority is next open. Are you following, guys? This section number 10. Next to section number 11. This is from your Income Tax Act. If I have to measure distance between two places, I can either go through land route, I can go through ship also, I can go, or I can go through what route, guys? Flight I can go. Flight also can go like this, like this. They are saying if you want to measure distance between two places, you will take a scale and draw a straight line between that. Same thing what we have in Income Tax Act. So for measuring distance, Income Tax Act took it from this act only. So in measurement of distance for the purpose of any central act or regulation made after the commencement of this act, that distance shall, unless a different intention appears, be measured in a straight line on a horizontal plane. Sir, in straight line building is there, sir, we can't go. It's for measuring the distance, guys, not how you travel and go, guys. However, if some other act is saying measure as per Google Maps app, Google Maps, then I will measure it as per that. Okay. Next, question number 12. Duty to be taken on pro rata. I am not discussing this, even though it's there an expected question, because this only came in Jan 26 exam. So you would have definitely studied. Let's save the time. But in simple words, I'll read where the whole amount is not payable, then pay it proportionately. For example, if they tell you right share 1 for every 3 shares, I have 10 shares, sir. So 10 into 1 by 3, I can only get 3.33. So 0.33 I can't give shares, sir. So 3 I will give shares, and remaining 0.33 I will give proportionately share or cash, whatever is possible. That's what they're saying, where if any quantity, weight or measure of any goods or merchandise, then likely a duty is leviable. Then you give it based on high or low, proportionately you give it, guys. I'm not discussing that much in detail. Okay. So these are all the sections which I told you over here, which is your section number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is done. Now very, very important section number 8. Okay. Section number 8. If I am drafting your question paper, I am a good fellow, guys. I will not give you difficult questions. I can draft very difficult ones for you. But one beautiful question I will give is from this one over here, which is question section number 8, construction of reference to repealed enactments. Let me give you an example to understand this better. We have Income Tax Act 1961. We have Companies Act 2013. Now we have the new Income Tax Act 2026. Correct? Now in Companies Act they are saying, income tax payable as per 1961 Act they are saying, guys. Okay. Imagine now we are in the year 2027. Okay, imagine we are now in the year 2027. This is the new act, 2025 act. Okay, imagine we are in 2027, guys. Let's hope that to be a great year for all of us. That's how we start every year, guys. But I will tell you, guys, life lesson, don't wait for next year or don't wait for next Monday. That moment you have to start thinking positively. I don't know how many of you know this or not, guys. Tamil Nadu election, whether you like it or not, guys, there was one guy, Vijay, who came from nowhere. 2 years, everyone told not possible for him to win even 10-20 seats. He came and won 100 seats, guys. 100 plus, is going to become the chief minister most probably. And when you look at, I don't know what he's going through internally as a human being, guys, but at least what he's portraying himself on social media everywhere is, he keeps saying the word confident, guys. That means be confident. Even if the world is going against you, be confident. Keep telling yourself it will happen. He did it, and he basically came into power. Whether it's good or bad, time will only tell, guys. But I will tell you, always be confident even if the life puts you down. And with that confidence and actions, life will change. Sorry for the 5-minute distraction. Come back over here. So in 2027, let's say in 2013, Companies Act 2013, imagine a provision says income tax payable as per the 1961 Act. But 1961 Act is no more there. We now have the new Income Tax Act. As of now, when I'm talking to you, this act is dead. We are all now practicing this act only. 2025 Act of Income Tax. But Companies Act in its provision is still yet to update itself. So this section 8 of General Clause Act says, wherever any act is referring to an act, 1961 Act, old act, if that act is repealed, automatically read this as if it's now referring to 2025. So they are saying replace this with 2025 and follow the provision what is there. So whatever section number I'm referring to over here, that same concept will be there here. They're asking you to refer it in the new act, guys, and this becomes very important now because new Income Tax Act has come. So basically this is what you will write in exam, but in simple words I have given you examples also. This example also you will write it in exam. So basically where an act X refers to a provision in Act Y, and the provision in Act Y has been replaced by Act Y new. So Act Y is my income tax old is replaced by Act Y new. Then it is deemed that Act X old act shall refer to Act Y new, even if the wordings in Act X is not yet changed. This is in simple words for you to understand. Exam, you will write this in your own language and give the example. This we also have an RTP question waiting to come in the main exam, and for me this is the most expected question in General Clauses Act. Next is effect of repeal in section 22-23, and this chapter also will come to an end, guys. So let me come to effect of repeal. What they're saying, effect of repeal, keep in mind VAT Act was removed and VAT is replaced by GST. Service tax is removed and service tax is replaced by GST. So what happens, sir? Effect of repeal of the old act, VAT being replaced by GST. What will happen? Let me read the points in reverse. It will not affect any enquiry, litigation or remedy with respect to the previous act. What they are saying, in old act or even now Income Tax Act, for example, Income Tax Act 2025 has come and replaced Income Tax Act 1961. So in previous Income Tax Act, if any enquiry, litigation, remedy is pending, that will continue over here unless the new act says something else. Affect any penalty, sir? In old act I have a penalty, I am yet to pay, sir. Now new act came, no sir, I have penalties waived down. No, it will not affect any, effect of repeal will not affect any penalty, forfeiture or punishment incurred in respect of any offense committed against the enactment so repealed. So old act penalty will still be there. Same way, it will not affect any right. In previous act also I must see, here also I must see. In previous act also I had PAN card, the same number is valid here unless the new act says it's not valid. For example, in GST when it came, the old service tax and VAT registration was not valid. They asked everyone to register for GST again. So it will not affect the right, privilege, obligation or liability incurred, accrued or incurred under the act which is so repealed. It will not affect any previous operation. So in previous act I already filed income tax returns. Now new act is saying file income tax return. I can tell that previously what I have filed is still valid for that particular year, guys. Revive anything not enforced or prevail during the period in which repeal is affected. Now imagine the new Income Tax Act 2025, people don't like it. They are cancelling the new Income Tax Act. By cancelling the new Income Tax Act 2025, old act will come back. No, it does not mean just because I'm reviving previous, revive anything not enforced or prevail during the period in which the repeal is affected. By repealing an act, you cannot tell old act will come back. If I close today's act, it does not mean the old act will come back. These are the points of effect of repeal. There are 5 points. Mug up the side headings, go write in exam, you will get that 3-4 marks. Lastly, we have these two, guys, which is my section 22 and 23. What is section number 22? Making of rules or bylaws or issuing orders between passing commencement and enactment. Here what they are saying, guys, we have Companies Act 2013 and Companies Rules 2014. My question is, before the act came in 2013, can I frame the rules in 2010 itself? See, here it makes sense. Act in 2013, rules in 2014, rules is following the act. But can I draft the rules in 2010 itself? Answer is yes. But those rules will not come into force until the act has come into force. So in simple terms, what they are saying, power is given to pass any rules or orders in respect of an act which has still not yet come into force. So even though act has not come into force, with respect to that act, rules, notifications, everything, orders can be passed. However, the said rule will be effective only after the commencement of the act. That's what is given over here in paragraph in section 22, which is making of rules or bylaws or issuing orders between passing commencement of enactment. Last one is basically, they have tested this in the exam in the past for 4 or 5 marks. You will write the points as it is what's given here. Provision applicable for making rules or bylaws after previous publication. This is the process as to how a new act or rule will be made. How new act or rule will be made. I will quickly read the points over here, but you will go read later by yourself. The first thing is the authority, the government will first publish a draft. So authority, the government will have a team, they will make the ideation. Imagine I'm making a new act for crypto. We will discuss and publish the draft. And then the publication which is made will be circulated to people, to all the government concerned, prescribed to all the relevant departments. Then a notice will be given, and then any objection, if any, will be received from other people. Then take the objection before the date they have given, and finally after objection comes, I will circulate it between the government and finally make an publication in official gazette. Simple technical procedure of publishing an act. So these are the key points that we have in General Clauses Act. In the expected question, guys, again I'm repeating for the 10th time, The reason I give expected questions late is not what to say intentional, but I will tell you one of the things is if I give it too early, you will read only this and go to exam. I don't want that. So try to read everything, but given a point that you are not able to read everything, at least I'm giving you only half the syllabus for General Class Act and iOS. You have read that. Next, we'll move on to the next chapter after this. Now let's start off with our expected question for LLP chapter, guys. LLP first question I have given is amalgamation of LLP. Last time in Jan 26 they asked the compromise of LLP, compromise arrangement, what is the process. So this time amalgamation, plus one more thing in the PDF I may have not given. Now I want to add LLP conversion, how to do these two things. So first let me start conversion of LLP. I'm using my law GenZ notes for LLP, which are basically in-depth detailed handwritten notes. Conversion of LLP, if you see guys, firm to LLP, private limited to LLP, public company to LLP, it's given in different schedules. So those things are not relevant to us. But what is relevant is if a firm gets converted to LLP or private to LLP or public to LLP, this conversion leads to registration, and what is the effect of that conversion, and they have given 4 points under effect of conversion, and this effect of conversion is important for us. The first one over here, once it's converted to LLP, registrar will issue a certificate of registration. Just like how a company is incorporated, we get a certificate of incorporation, that certificate is given. Then LLP has to intimate ROC and the old authority within 15 days of such change. Once conversion happens, intimate them in 15 days. All the stakeholders in LLP, who are the stakeholders? Partners for LLP or shareholders for company. Why I am saying, see, partners for partnership. Partnership gets converted to LLP, and shareholders, if company is getting converted, are bound by schedules. The effect of registration is stated in schedules. They are saying in depth to go and read the schedules. Schedules is not part of our syllabus. Most importantly, all assets and liabilities, tangible, intangible, of the partnership firm or the private public limited company shall vest in the new LLP, and the old firm or company shall be removed from registrar of company. So old partnership company name will be removed and new LLP name will be added. All assets and liabilities will be transferred, guys. This compromise arrangement reconstruction only came last time, guys. So this time we'll be focusing more on provision for facilitating reconstruction or amalgamation of LLP. So section 62 talks about reconstruction or amalgamation of LLP. Here, this is very, very important. LLP can amalgamate with LLP and form a new LLP. Yes, LLP plus LLP, new LLP, 1 plus 1, 2. But LLP cannot be amalgamated with another company. So that means if LLP has to be amalgamated with company, first this company with the process I showed you should first be converted to an LLP. Then LLP plus LLP can be amalgamated. So MCQ question, LLP cannot be amalgamated with another company, that is not allowed. Now, what you should do, once the compromise order under section 60 comes, tribunal can order for amalgamation of LLP. Once amalgamation of LLP order is given by tribunal, so basically when you go to tribunal, guys, tribunal will either give you order for compromise or they will give you order for amalgamation. So compromise only, we saw that when compromise happens, 3/4 in value, you have to give agree. We have to apply to tribunal with all these latest attachments and file to tribunal within 30 days. That's what came in the previous exam. So just quickly go through that and then come over here and see that once the order of tribunal comes for amalgamation of LLP, you will intimate ROC within 30 days. Here also we will intimate order of tribunal to registrar within 30 days. So in compromise also we will intimate ROC in 30 days. Here also we'll intimate in 30 days. And after that, what happens? Effect of order, if you see, look at this. Transferor LLP to transfer all assets and liabilities to transferee LLP. In amalgamation of companies, in company also you will see the, what to say, selling company will transfer all the assets and liabilities to buying company, transferor to transferee. All pending legal proceedings shall continue. Just because now this two LLPs have amalgamated into a new LLP, old LLP legal case I can escape us or no, they will also still continue. This will lead to dissolution of transferor LLP winding up, and some people are saying, no sir, I am not interested in this amalgamation, just leave me alone, I want to be independent. Then exit opportunity will be given for dissenting parties, dissenting partners. An order for any other order needed for smooth execution, company will give it, guys. Tribunal shall not pass any order unless it has received a statement from ROC that LLP is compliant, and if there is a default, this is the penalty that we have. You will quickly go through that penalty, guys. With this, if I come back to expected questions over here, amalgamation of LLP and LLP conversion, first one is done. Now let me go to third point, which is winding up of LLP by tribunal. This winding up and dissolution, they have asked in question exam so many times, they have asked. So winding up and dissolution, company can wind up by itself voluntarily. Okay, self-voluntary winding up, not an issue, process is there. But if the winding up is by tribunal, if tribunal is going to wind up, cases of tribunal winding up, this 5 points, they have tested so many times in the past. What are these 5 points? We all know it, but quickly let's revise once. LLP decides to be wound up by tribunal when what are all the cases? 1, if the number of members in LLP is minimum 2, if that falls below 2 and continues for more than 6 months. So it falls below 2 and continues for more than 6 months, we have not increased the same. Then LLP acted against the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state or public order. Basically, my LLP is manufacturing bombs or doing some digital threat, hacking, anything against the sovereignty of India, then tribunal will ask them to be wound up, guys. Default in filing statement of accounts of solvency and annual return for any 5 consecutive financial years. So statement of accounts and solvency we have to file in respective 60 days and 6 months from end of financial year. You have not filed it for 5 consecutive financial years or any other reason which is just and equitable. These 5 points you will go through. If a straightforward question comes, it becomes easy for us, guys. Next one, partners transferable interest, section 42. So basically what is this? In section 42 we have something called assignment and transfer of partnership interest. There is a difference between assignment and transfer of partnership interest. What is assignment? I have something but I am not able to do it, so I am assigning it to somebody else. So if I am assigning my powers to somebody else, he acts as my agent and does the work which I have to do. So this does not lead to dissolution or disassociation of partners with the firm. Let's say for example a partner is very active in LLP. I am a partner of Sangeeta restaurant. Now suddenly I have decided to travel abroad and stay abroad for the next 2 years. So I am finding some other partner and assigning him the duty until I come back. Now this is not dissolution of LLP, guys. I am just assigning my powers. So he will do it within my supervision. I will call and tell him what to do. But the second one is transfer of partnership interest. I am no more interested in this Sangeeta restaurant or any other restaurant. I want to retire or do something else. So partners right in LLP, whatever rights I have in the business, what rights I will have mainly my power of managing the business and profit sharing. So these rights can be transferred to others. Example of my rights is share of profit or losses. Now more guidance on this. The LLP agreement will tell how transfer can happen, what you can transfer, what you can't transfer. But section 42 talks about transfer of partnership interest. All the partners' rights in LLP can be transferred to others of my choice. But when I am transferring, the act is saying that when I am transferring, I cannot manage LLP or access information of LLP. That means what they're trying to say, mainly share of profit and loss can be transferred to somebody else, because see, I started this business, I am a main partner, I am taking a 2 years break. I have a rapport with other partners. Now I am going abroad, I am transferring my interest to somebody else, and if I leave, that guy will come and fight here and create nuisance. So I don't want someone new to interfere in the management of business without consent of other partners. So what is not allowed? The person with whom I am transferring the partnership interest cannot manage LLP and he cannot access any other information of the LLP, but what can be transferred is share of profits or losses, guys. Let me go to the next question over here. Okay, next one, I will come back to second question in the end. Let me finish off all the other small ones. Unlimited liability in case of fraud or whistleblowing concept. So coming to section 30 and 31, these are repeated areas, so I'm discussing them again. Repeated means it came in exam many times. Unlimited liability. Sir, LLP means limited liability only, no sir, but in certain cases, liability becomes unlimited when the partner does something with an intention of fraud. For example, I am partner of LLP. I went to bank, took loan. For what purpose, sir? Like Vijay Malia, I thought I will not pay. Whenever bank comes to my house, I will take a flight and go abroad. My intention was never to repay. So partner's liability becomes unlimited in case of fraud. Sir, how to prove the fraud? That depends on the people who are filing the case, guys. When an act carried out by LLP or partners, because of separate legal entity over here, LLP is different, partners are different. If either of them with the intent to defraud its creditors or any other person, cheating the creditors by not paying or any other person for fraudulent purpose, then what they are saying, guys, the liability of LLP and partners who acted with the intention to defraud shall have unlimited liability for all or any of the debts, guys. And the LLP partners have to compensate loss affected by the affected parties. And lastly, there's also punishment. Where an act of fraud was carried out by the partner, the LLP is likely liable to the same extent of the partner unless it was proved. Meaning what they are saying, if partner does the fraud, then LLP is liable to the same extent as that of the partner, and imprisonment up to 5 years, fine 50k to 5 lakhs, guys. Next concept, whistleblowing. This whistleblowing is not Vijay sir came, we blew the whistle, we won the election, sir. No, not that, guys. Now, for those students outside Tamil Nadu, you will not understand this because Tamil Nadu political result just came and everybody is, whether you like it or not, engaged in that. So this whistleblowing is basically somebody who works in a company who blows a whistle against the company, exposing things about the company, guys. For example, this happened recently in US also, where one person came and told that US government is basically watching all of you through your phones and cameras. Same thing happened in this Patriot movie also, is all about that. So like that, if anybody comes openly and shares information about the company saying they're doing fraud, that person is called whistleblower. And this act is trying to protect them because they are trying to save everybody who's attached with that company. So the court or tribunal may reduce or waive penalty on any employee or partner. Imagine I came to an LLP when an investigation is going on. During investigation, the person who did the mistake itself is saying, the employee or the partner, they have provided useful information during investigation saying that yes, I made the mistake, I'm so sorry, whatever you want to take it, please reduce my jail. Or any information given by partner or employee during investigation or not, leads to conviction of any other partner. I gave evidence because of which somebody else is arrested. Then if the person who did the fraud, if they themselves come and surrender, then their punishment will be reduced or waived. And if somebody else, genuine person, is coming and giving information, then no one should be discharged. One innocent person, he came and gave all the information, so I should not fire him. No one should be discharged, threatened, demoted, suspended, or harassed. I will go to your house, you go home, no, I will send rowdies to your house. So they should not be discharged, threatened, demoted, suspended, harassed in any manner because they gave such information. So these are the next two concepts, which is basically we are now done with point 1, point 3 and point 4. Next is filing of annual return and declaration of solvency. So let's come to the statement of account insolvency and annual return. So first, a few important things over here under financial disclosures, guys. The company has to maintain proper books of accounts. What is key over here is they can maintain in cash or accrual basis. For a company, it's always accrual. For LLP, they give an option of cash also. And once you maintain this, it will be maintained in registered office accounts. Central government may exempt. Now, these two things, guys, statement of account and solvency and annual return. Annual return does not have financial information. It has other information like who are the designated partners, what they did, any appointment, any new business. So those things, because financial data is not much there, it will be filed to the ROC within 60 days from end of the financial year. The statement of account and solvency is basically a data of saying that my company is still solvent. Because of LLP, my assets are sufficient for liabilities. To prepare this I have to prepare a statement that as if the company is going to close down today, I still have surplus funds. That will take some time to prepare. So within 6 months from end of financial year, don't get confused guys. 60 days for annual return and 6 months from for a solvency report, which will be signed by the designated partner. If you don't do file, it means this is the penalty guys. For LLP 100 per day, designated partner also 100 per day. LLP 100, designated partner 100 per day. LLP big no, so maximum 1 lakh. Designated partner only few people, 2 people minimum, maximum is 50,000 guys. And then with this we are done with the filing of annual return, declaration of solvency. Then we will go for next one is time limit for different cases of filing to ROC, new partner joined, name or LLP or address changed in related concepts where there is filing to ROC involved. Let me go to that now. So this time limits, I'm going to discuss multiple time limits for you over here. First is cessation of partnership. Interest has one time limit. When does partnership come to an end? Partnership comes to an end for various things like retirement, basically partner coming in or going out. When I will go out, retirement, or God is taking me, death, dissolution of firm, firms have decided to close, unsound mind, basically unsound mind here, I cannot tell I'm unsound mind guys, it should be declared by a competent court. And insolvent, in insolvency, very important thing to note over here, only over here they will tell you whether adjudicated or application pending. Normally in partnership act they will tell insolvency only when adjudicated. Here even if I have made the application and application is pending in court, still you are insolvent. If any of these things happen, in all these cases there is a minus, partner is leaving. Then in that case that partner is known as a former partner. Now look at this, in death partner is no more, dissolution firm itself is closed, unsound mind I cannot expect the person to do anything. Insolvency already he has enough troubles, don't give him more trouble. Retirement is the only sane retirement where I am retiring by my choice. Rest everything is not by my choice, somebody else is controlling. So in retirement, if retirement happens, I have to give 30 days notice to other partners. From the date of retirement I should inform others by giving them a 30 days notice that I am going to retire, tell them in advance. Now this former partner will be treated as a partner. If I don't give this notice, he will, if notice is given, he will still be treated as a partner unless notice is given or notice is delivered to ROC within 30 days. So if you don't intimate the other partners, sir, in case of death, then who will intimate? Legal representative. Dissolution, anyway firm is gone. Unsound mind, their legal representative. Insolvent, the person itself will intimate whom guys? Now notice will be given and delivered to registrar within 30 days. If this process is not done, he will still be called a partner guys. However, his pending obligation against LLP and other partners is not automatically discharged. That means, for example, if this is my timeline, I am retiring or death or anything is happening over here. After this only I am not liable if I give the notice. But before this, whatever pending things I have done, for example, loan already taken, some liability already there, those things will continue guys. What are the rights of the former partner? Now this former partner who has left the business, I'm talking about this point. After you have left, we call them as former partner because former Indian cricket player Sunil Gavaskar, after I have left the partnership firm, I still have a right for two things: my share of capital until my money is paid to me, and my share of accumulated profits after adjusting any losses. But I cannot interfere in the management decisions. Imagine Sunil Gavaskar left Indian team. After what he can do, he can still ask any money payable to him in form of capital or profit, but he can't interfere with the selection guys. Same thing over here. Now this section 24 I have not given you in the expected question list over here, but I've just given you different cases of filing to ROC. So different case of filing to ROC comes over here in case of former partner. So I have taken that and I have discussed that guys. Same way, the next thing, one more thing for filing to ROC, look at this registration of change in partners. If partner is changing his name or address, I am the partner, I can change the name if I don't like my name. Yes, as an individual you can change your name, or you change your permanent address where you're residing. Intimate LLP within 15 days. Once you intimate LLP, LLP will now intimate ROC within 30 days in prescribed form, signed by designated partner. Because my name is changing, address is changing, I will tell LLP in 15 days. LLP will tell whom guys? LLP will tell the ROC within 30 days. Same way, in LLP, if there is addition or deletion of partner, just now we saw former partner leaving, that is leaving, or if addition is happening or change in partner name, LLP should also intimate ROC within 30 days, guys. LLP will intimate ROC within 30 days. So basically, incoming or outgoing partner, LLP will intimate ROC in 30 days. Retirement means partner also will intimate in 30 days to other partners, and change of partner's name intimate in 15 days, guys. That's it. This is the summary of these three things. And lastly, if the partner may file it directly with the registrar, if he believes that LLP will not file it, will registrar accept? They will cross check with LLP. If no response comes in 15 days, then they will register. Meaning, this filing, if LLP has not done to the ROC, then the partner himself, here also partner himself, they can file to ROC directly, and they will cross check for, wait for 15 days and confirm the registration, guys. Sir, what sir, this time limit is very confusing for me, sir, especially intimating ROC in different cases. That's why I wanted to read everything. I'm summarizing this to you over here. Whenever there is a partner coming in or going out of the firm, LLP will intimate ROC within 30 days. Whenever a retirement is happening, the partner will intimate to other partners in LLP within 30 days. Whenever there's a change in name or address of the partner, then partner will intimate LLP within 15 days. That's it. This is the regular thing. Now, in case where LLP has to intimate ROC within 30 days for incoming or outgoing partner, or whenever there's going to be a retirement, LLP will intimate ROC in 30 days. If LLP has not intimated ROC, then the partner can intimate ROC anytime by themselves directly. ROC will cross check with the people. If no response comes in 15 days, they will proceed and do the registration. This is a summary of all the time limits that I have given over here, guys. That is point number 6. Next, let me go to small LLP, question number 7, guys, in our expected question. So small LLP is little important. I will tell you why. Because they have always tested only, what to say, small company, but they have never tested small LLP. So small LLP, after it has come in your syllabus, it is yet to come in your main exam. So for me, I feel it's more important for your exam. Of course, entire expected question itself is only a few topics in the whole syllabus, so everything else also is important. So small LLP, if you see, in Companies Act, for small company, we have capital and turnover 4 crores and 40. 4 can become 10, 40 can become 100 for May exams. In small LLP, instead of capital, we call it contribution. Turnover will be same as turnover, and I have to satisfy both. Contribution should not exceed 25 lakhs, should not exceed 25 lakhs, and turnover should not exceed 40 lakhs, can be up to 40 lakhs. This is the limit you will do for checking in the exam based on the question. But in the future, this 25 lakhs can go up to 5 crores and 40 lakhs can go up to 40 lakhs can go up to 50 crores, guys. These are the limits for small LLP. Be very, very careful. Next, all concepts related to designated partner who can be member, individual versus corporate, and exceptions. So let me take that also. So that if you see, yeah, here we are now. So who can be member in an LLP? This is basics, but many attempts they have tested only basics. So let's be ready with the basics also. Who can be member in LLP? LLP should have minimum 2. That minimum 2 can be individual or body corporate, guys. In any composition, both can be individual, both can be body corporate, or any ratio. But if it's an individual, they are saying individual, anybody, you, me can be there. But these three are not allowed. Found unsound by competent court. I cannot simply tell I'm unsound. Court should declare you are unsound. Go to mental hospital and get that, guys. Joking, guys. Come back. Unsound by a competent court. Undischarged, insolvent. You have declared as an insolvent and you are still yet to make payment to others, or applies to be insolvent and application is pending. These points only we saw in former partner. So you cannot be a partner if you're unsound and you're insolvent, application pending, or this already, what to say, adjudicated by court. Body corporate means a company registered under the Companies Act. So company, and includes what, guys? LLP registered under this act, LLP incorporated outside India, a company incorporated outside India. So basically, I will summarize this as LLP and company, whether they are in India or outside. LLP and company, whether they are in India or outside, guys. LLP incorporated in India, company incorporated in India. LLP outside India, company outside India, company in India. Basically, LLP or company in India or outside India will be called a body corporate as per this act. And they're also saying what is not a body corporate, guys. What is not a body corporate over here? A corporate sole, like the president, they say single entity corporations, cooperative society registered under that or any other body corporate notified. These people are not a body corporate. Then come down, related to this, financial year again important. If LLP is incorporated up to 30th September of a financial year, then financial year ends normally. For example, if LLP is incorporated on 29th September 2026, then financial year will end on 31st March 27. However, if LLP is incorporated after 30th September, then financial year can end on the same year. For example, LLP is incorporated on 4th October 26, then LLP can end on 31st March 27, or the second option can be 31st March 28, ends in next year, guys. So remember the cutoff date of 30th of September. Within 30th September means as usual. After 30th September, two options, as usual, same financial year or next financial year. One more example also I have given over here. You can go through this. Now I told you we should also discuss designated partners. So every LLP should have minimum 2 partners, and in that I can have even 10 partners for LLP, but every LLP should have minimum 2 designated partners. Who are these designated partners? People who are responsible for legal compliance in the LLP, and at least one of them must be a resident in the country. Who is resident? Need not have passport, nothing. They don't talk about citizenship over here. Resident is someone who stayed in India for 120 days or more in the preceding financial year. So summary, guys, revise and repeat with me. Every LLP should have how many designated partners? 2 designated partners. One should be resident in India. Who is resident for this act? Resident for this act is a person who stayed in India for 120 days or more in the previous financial year. Who can be the designated partner? It should be individual or body corporate, our choice. If it's individual, same condition as above, cannot be unsound mind and insolvent. If it's a body corporate, then body corporate cannot come and take responsibility, cannot go to jail if there's any issue. So they will put a nominee. Body corporate, for example, in my LLP, Infosys is a body corporate. They will appoint a nominee, somebody from Infosys who will be a nominee. Now this designated partner has to give prior consent. I have summarized all the sections of DP here in 4 to 5 points. What is that? If designated partner leaves, appoint a new DP in 30 days. Sir, I'm not talking about your Instagram DP, WhatsApp DP, guys. Designated partner leaves, appoint new person in 30 days. One more time limit. If no designated partner is appointed, partner available, someone who is there will become designated partner and LLP will intimate ROC, guys. Designated partner terms is defined in LLP agreement. And lastly, designated partner has to obtain DPIN and responsible for doing all the acts required by LLP, like filing of your solvency report, annual return, everything. And there is some punishment for DP. So please learn this punishment, guys. I'm just keeping it over here. Pause and learn this punishment. Very important. If designated partner is less than 2 or DP is not a resident, we have one punishment. And one more thing, if vacancy of designated partner is not filled within 30 days, or designated partner is not eligible to be a designated partner because I didn't stay in India for less than 120 days, more than 120 days, I stayed for less, then in both these cases, I call this as A, I call this as C. I have given the penalty over here, but penalty is the same. Now it's a relief for you. What is my penalty, guys? For both it's same. Designated partner plus LLP 10,000 and 100 rupees per day. Maximum LLP 1 lakh, partner 50k. Same thing over here. Which penalty is different? If there is failure to get consent of designated partner to be filed to ROC within 30 days, then you have a different penalty. Designated partner plus LLP 5,000 rupees. In other case it was 10,000. Here 5,000. Same 100 per day. We'll repeat. Minimum 50k and maximum LLP is 50k and designated partner is 25,000. So these two penalties, remember, for LLP, guys, they have asked penalty in the past. These are the concepts for designated partner, guys. Now one last thing that we have left is section 15 to 17, name clause related provisions. Be clear with the process related to incorporation of LLP and details to be attached, as this was never tested in the past. So lastly, I will be discussing now over here steps for incorporating LLP and what are the name clause related provisions in LLP. With that we will be done with our LLP discussion, guys. Let me go check if anything else is pending. Yeah, everything is done. So name clause related provisions above I'm discussing, and incorporation is done. With that your entire LLP will come to an end. Now incorporating a company is an art, guys. In our class we actually demonstrate how LLP or company is incorporated, but here I will give you steps, 5 steps. Step number 1, find 2 or more designated partners, guys. You want to start something, you need 2 people, guys. Why they say for a company there are 2 people? Even for startup they say you should have 2 people, otherwise nobody will invest, because even if one person is not working, other person will push you. Remember, when you're studying by yourself, you get a lot of thoughts. But when you have 2 people, each person will push each other. Somebody will be accountable, guys. So always they say 2 people is important for designated partner. And that second step is obtain deepen or DSC. Deepen and DSC we will obtain, guys. Even marriage, 2 people. No sir, I am getting married, sir. I have 4 wives, sir. I have 4 husbands. You don't know the kind of situationships I have, sir. They are saying minimum 2 or more. So 2 should be there. Okay. So 2 are there. Obtain deepen and DSC. Step number 2. Step number 3. Check name availability. If you want to start an LLP should be given a name. Future CA LLP. Whatever it is. For example, there was one person who simply applied for the name PlayStation 5, PS5, and got it 20 years back. Now when Sony wanted to launch PS5 a few years back, they had to purchase trademark from him. One more person in Dubai, Geo Hotstar, nobody thought. So they simply bought the trademark of Geo Hotstar, and when the actual company came, they couldn't use that. They had to purchase it from them. So like this, you have to check the name and get the name over there. And after this, so what is first step? 2 or more designated partners, obtain deepen DSC, and they will check for name. And fourth step is electronic filing of documents. I will electronically file all these documents in the website. What I will file, guys? Simple thing. If you are starting an LLP, you are the partner. Your name, your address. Partner's firm's name, firm's address. What business you are doing. Name of LLP, proposed business. Address of LLP, name and address of partners, other information. Simple. Basically, partner's name, partner's address. LLP name, LLP address. What business, other information. It's called incorporation document. E-form Philip is the form name. E-form Philip. And one more statement has to be given by advocate or CA, CS and CMA. Statement should be given by advocate or CA, CS, CMA. And any one subscriber of LLP agreement that all information is true and fair. With all this information in step 4, I will file to the ROC, and they will take 14 days. Once you file in 14 days, they may respond, but generally 14 days in step 5. Signed by registrar, and registrar will put official seal and give issuing certificate of incorporation and LLP pin. And once it comes within 30 days, once I get certificate of registration of LLP, within 30 days I have to draft LLP agreement under section 23 in E-form 3. In Companies Act incorporation, if you see MOA, OA are drafted first and then filed. Here get the certificate of incorporation and then you will draft the LLP agreement, guys. And if you give any wrong information, imprisonment up to 2 years and fine 10k to 5 lakhs. Next, register office, effect of registration, all same. Name clause related provisions, guys. Section 15 to 17. I have summarized all of them over here. How private limited company uses the word private, company uses the word limited. Here we will use the word limited LLP or limited liability partnership. Then no name should be undesirable. I should not use the name like anti-India, anti-BJP, anti-DMK. Those kind of names now I should not be using, guys. Okay, sir, can I use name like anti-GenZ? Whether it's undesirable or not, government is yet to, that ROC will decide that. No name should be undesirable for the sovereignty of country. Or it should not be identical or too nearly. It should not represent any other company, any other LLP or any other registered trademark. Here we have an amendment, very important. It can represent another partnership. Earlier this point also was there, that it should not represent another partnership, but now they have removed it. That means they're trying to motivate you to don't have partnerships. So your registered LLP can represent another partnership, guys, but it should not represent company, LLP or registered trademark. And once you reserve the name in this step, check name availability and reserving the name. Once you reserve the name will be reserved for 3 months period, for 3 months. And within this 3 months period only, you will have to do step number 4, which is electronic filing of documents. These are section number 15, all of that. Last one is rectification of name, same as Companies Act section number 16, guys. If ROC feels that your name is identical or similar to some other company, or your trademark is identical, then they will ask you to change the name. So within 3 months, so you have to change in 3 months from the date of RD order. So if your name is identical to some other company, within 3 months you have to change from RD order, and then within the next 15 days of changing, you will intimate ROC. Once you intimate ROC, in the next 30 days, ROC will give a new certificate of incorporation. Who will complain to RD? Somebody who feels that you have copied their name, that somebody will make application to RD within 3 years of incorporation. So that somebody will apply to RD within 3 years of incorporation. Once they apply to somebody else within 3 years of incorporation of my LLP, if I started an LLP whose name is identical, then that somebody else whose name I copied, see, I am X, I copied X's name. So that X will have to file a complaint on me within 3 years, and once they file a complaint on me within 3 years, RD will order me to change in 3 months. Once I change, I will intimate them within 15 days and intimate ROC in 15 days. ROC will give me a new certificate of incorporation. This is same as Companies Act section 16, rectification of name, where the company's name or trademark is very, very identical, guys. With this, we are done with LLP's all expected questions what I have. With that, we will move on to the next chapter, guys. I hope you are able to understand. I only need one thing from you guys, those who are all watching, guys, before we go to next chapter. Keep letting me know in the comments. I mean, of course in the live, but beyond the live, in the comments, in the video comment, I want you to share, yes sir, it's helpful, thank you, where are you watching from? I need those comments, guys, because I really read all those comments, and that's where I keep getting my energy to keep giving you this attempt after attempt. And trust me, every attempt, the way we're going to do these marathons, books, everything will keep improving, guys. And that's about it. And one good news during this marathon, since you're all CA inter law students, that when you finish your exams and start your articleship this year itself, I have finished my CA final SPOM material also for law. So SPOM class also for 40 to 50 hours I will be taking very soon and sharing with all of you guys. So with this, LLP is done. Let me move on to the next one. Keep the momentum going. Take charge of the next chapter, guys. Let's now start off the expected question for FEMA, guys. If you take FEMA, this chapter, basically we can split this into 2 buckets. First bucket is all the limits in one place. Second bucket is all the residential status in one place. If this itself is done, 90% of the chapter is done, and after that we have some miscellaneous topics. Now in expected question, first I'm going to finish all the expected questions with respect to limits what we have, guys. So what are those limits expected questions? Question number 2 over here, current account schedule 1 and 2 limits we have. Then transactions prohibited by RBI, current account other than individual, 4 limits where RBI permission is required. Then schedule with list of central government approval, limits relating to sports tournament outside India, PSU limits, bidding point, all those things. So I'm going to first finish point 2, 3, 4 and 6 for all of you, and then lastly we will take up residential status, and we will take up point number 5 and point number 7, remittance of salaries, guys. Let me start off with FEMA. For these limits, I have summarized the limits in my notes so it becomes easier for you. Let me start off with current account. So in current account, basically there are 4 things that you should learn. If you go in the same order over here, first schedule 1. Schedule 1 talks about what is prohibited from strictest to the most lenient. First schedule 1, what is prohibited. Then if you go to schedule 2, it is central government's permission. So prohibited to central government permission. Then little more lenient. Schedule 3 is RBI permission is needed if the transaction from individual is going to exceed $250,000. And last one is other than individuals, which requires RBI permission for 4 limits, guys. So from most strict to easier ones. Let me start off first with the schedule 1, which is prohibited. I have summarized the keywords. You don't have to mug up the points under this schedule and all, guys. They are not going to ask you all of that. This keyword is coming in exam. That means it is prohibited. What is keyword for schedule 1? Lottery winnings in India. Sir, I went to Kerala. One lottery. That lottery you cannot take it outside India, guys. Not allowed. Second, racing or riding. Those kind of winnings that you have in India, you cannot take it outside. Then in other countries, I want to participate in gambling or similar things. For example, in Friends TV show, you will see lottery happening in some other company. I want to participate in some other country's lottery, sir. I want to participate. Band magazine, you know better than me what band magazine I want to buy, sir. Or football pools or sweepstakes. Football pool is nothing but you have these gaming apps like Bet365. Basically, in other countries, gambling, I want to participate. If you see words like lottery of other companies, band magazine, football pool, sweepstakes, you cannot take Indian money to buy money over, to buy, all these in those company. Next, commission on export towards equity investment, investment in joint venture or wholly owned subsidiary of Indian company abroad. So what they are saying, I am an Indian company, investment in joint venture or wholly owned subsidiary of Indian company abroad. So I am an Indian company, for example, Infosys. In my wholly owned subsidiary abroad, for example, in Germany, somebody is investing. So I am an Indian company. In my Indian company subsidiary in Germany, somebody is investing, because of which somebody helped me invest over there. So commission on export towards equity investment. I cannot pay commission to that person who helped me get the investment of my company abroad, which is prohibited because money is going out, guys. Next, schedule 1. If you see terms like dividend balancing, so this concept dividend balancing, now honestly I'm telling you guys, I need 20-30 minutes to explain in detail what is dividend balancing. I have done this in my regular class or in my crash course, but over here I want to finish off quickly in 20 minutes full FEMA chapter. So if you just see the word dividend balancing, prohibited, guys. Then payment of commission on export under rupee state credit route, guys. Basically, see, if I want to export some products to Germany, somebody in Germany has to buy my products. That means somebody in Germany has to help me purchase the products. So I have to pay commission. So payment of commission on export under rupee state credit route. Rupee state credit route is a scheme where for export payment, instead of payment in dollars, it's given in rupees, guys. But those days we were able to export a lot of tea and tobacco to Russia. When we were exporting tea, we were one of the biggest manufacturers of tea and tobacco, and Russia used to consume highest from us. That was possible because some agents in Russia used to help us. Russian spy agents, no, commission agents. So if I don't give them commission, then they will buy from somebody else. So that time in 1990s, they allowed this. In early 2000s, exception. If you are exporting tea and tobacco, they have not used the word Russia, but this came because of Russian background. If I'm exporting tea and tobacco, then 10% of the invoice value commission is allowed. So for example, if my export is $1 lakh, up to 10%, $10,000 commission I can pay. So in entire prohibition list, all these keywords, if it comes not allowed, here also all the keywords comes not allowed, except this one limit you should remember, 10% of invoice value of export of tea and tobacco only, guys. Why tea and tobacco, sir? Mostly they're used together only, no, guys. Same like dividend balancing, one more keyword you should be seeing is callback services. What is this callback services? Another beautiful concept whoever drafted the law, guys. But given the time constraint we have, I am not discussing the core logic over here. Why dividend balancing, why callback services? And then remittance of interest on non-resident special rupee scheme account. So basically NRIs who are working abroad, instead of having the balance in US bank, they will have the balance with RBI in special rupee scheme account. So that dollars will be converted to rupees. On that, whatever interest they earn, they cannot take it back. Only principal they can take. Sir, schedule 1 for exam, what is important, sir? If I see these keywords in exam, prohibited, 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 hit the hammer and move on, guys. Next, Schedule 2, central government permission needed if all these are happening. Each of these, remember the keywords. If you see cultural tours, then human resource department permission I should get. Then if you see hiring charges for transponders, then you should get what to say, this particular department. Then surface transport department for all the things related to shipping industry. What is shipping industry? Remittance of freight of vessel. I want to send some goods in ship by PSU, by the PSU from India to, let's say, to China, or India to Sri Lanka, or India to, let's say, Bali. For that I don't have a ship, so I'm taking rent of a ship. Payment for import through ocean transport. Payment of import through ocean transport, if you see by PSU government, again central government permission. Container detention charges exceeding rate prescribed by Director General of Shipping. So sometimes our Indian containers in some other country, it will be detained, like how we detain somebody else's, they will detain ours. For that, if you want to make payment, you have to get permission. Multi-modal transport operators, agents abroad. What do I mean by multi-modal transport operators, sir? For example, if you take Forex or FedEx transport, if I'm sending one courier from, let's say, Chennai to US, first it will go in ship, then it may go in flight, then it may go in some truck. So multi-modal transport operators means I'm a company like FedEx where I own flights, I own ships, I own trucks. So through multiple vehicles, I transport your goods, guys. For this multimodal transport operators, FedEx may not own all the ships and flights. They may have some other agents from whom they will take rent. So for those agents, if they're paying, you need to get permission of central government. PNI club, like how we have Cosmopolitan Club, Gincana Club, there are so many clubs, Tamil Panel Club, startup clubs, many other. PNI club is an international club for insurance companies. So if you want to pay membership fees for that, you should get Department of Finance. These keywords you are seeing are central government permission. Now in central government permission, what is important? These 2 points only has limits, like how above we have 10% of commission, 10% of invoice value can be paid for commission for export of tea and tobacco. Here we have 2 limits for central government permission, guys. The first one, if the state government, for example Tamil Nadu government or any Bihar government or Maharashtra government or any PSU wants to give advertisement in foreign print media. Tamil Nadu government during election gave ads for all of you. Now those ads are not coming, guys. Same way, if Tamil Nadu government wants to give ad in foreign print media, why will Tamil Nadu government or PSU give ad in Germany or in Ireland or in US? They will give ad for what purpose? Tourism. For example, Kerala government will put ad in European countries. Come to Kerala, God's own country, beautiful country. You come here, guys. Okay. Next, foreign investment. Come and invest in my company, in my country. Vizag got Google AI investment. Come and invest. Or international bidding. International bidding, it's allowed. So state government or PSU giving advertisement in foreign print media for tourism, foreign investment and international bidding, it is allowed, guys. If it is for more than $10,000, for anything else, Department of Finance. So apart from these 3 points, if it's for anything else, then you need to get permission. This limit you will remember, guys. Next, same way, if the central government permission I have to get for prize money or sponsorship I am paying for a sports activity. What sports activity? If I am conducting sports activity abroad, cricket tournament abroad, chess tournament abroad, this is conducted by other than international, national or state level bodies. That means international ICC conducting no problem. National BCCI conducting no problem. State level Tamil Nadu Cricket Association, Maharashtra Cricket Association, they are conducting, let's say ICC, BCCI, TNCA, BCCI, they are conducting, what to say, guys, sports activity for giving prize money sponsorship abroad means if they are conducting, it's totally fine. Look at the words other than. So other than international, national and state means up to 1 lakh US dollars it is allowed, guys. So basically, what is the summary? The summary is, if a private organization wants to conduct sports activity abroad and give prize money and sponsorship for that for more than 1 lakh US dollars, then we have to get permission of central government. Sir, why will private government get conduct abroad. Companies like Infosys, Oracle, Deloitte, sometimes they conduct sports tournament for their employees in Sri Lanka. Let's say get together guys for that purpose. One good thing in FEMA, it's not more than or less than in all the limits. So far, if you see here also, it is what to say guys. Wherever this value limit come, it is always exceeding guys, exceeding only. We will see even in other concepts. Next, let me come to Schedule 3 individual. Here, this Schedule 3 individual is basically freely allowed, guys. It's called LRS, liberalized remittance scheme. Up to $250,000 for all these things freely you can do. What are the things that you and I mostly need? We have education purpose. I'm going abroad, sir. I'm going for immigration, means settlement abroad, or for any health issue. Indian treatment is not good, so I'm going for my health or maintenance of a close relative, or for I'm going as an attendant for somebody else. Traveling abroad, gifts or donation to my girlfriend, boyfriend I have, sir, abroad. My Instagram friend is there, Facebook friend, or for employment or other current account transactions. I'm going to employment abroad for job. I have to settle down. Basic day-to-day needs, mostly travel, all these things, up to 2,50,000. The 2,50,000 itself will come close to how much, guys? It will be close to almost 2.5 to 3 crores, guys. Okay, somewhat around that. 1 lakh into 90, yeah, around 3 crores it will be, guys. Little less than that. So up to that, don't disturb anybody. If you're crossing this, if you're going to cross 2,50,000, then you have to get permission of RBI, guys. Now, what are the extra key points to remember here, sir? The extra key points to remember over here, if you are traveling abroad to Nepal or Bhutan, you can't draw foreign currency beyond 2,50,000. Permission will not be given. Basically, what they are saying, why? In India, Nepal and Bhutan, Indian rupees is a legal tender. Of course, Nepal, Bhutan have their currency, but Indian currency can be used there. So why you want foreign currency, guys? And for education, these three things, for education, immigration and health purpose, if it's going to cross 2,50,000, when you're getting permission from RBI, you have to support give it some evidence. Like education means your college certificate where you got admission, immigration of proof, health means hospital bill you have to submit. That's an additional condition given over here, guys. So with this, if I come back over here, again, Schedule 1 prohibition list we are done. Schedule 2 central government permission is also done. Schedule 3 RBI permission is also done for individual. Now, other than individual, let's go and see the RBI permission. This is the area where they ask questions in exam, because there are 4 points and each of the 4 has limits. The first one, if you see, guys, is basically sale of residential house or commercial plot, guys. Sale of residential house or commercial plot. Now, I have a house in India. I want to sell it in India. Nobody is buying. So I am trying to find a buyer abroad. So I am finding a house broker. How we have brokers in India, there will be brokers abroad. So some rich fellow is there in UK. I call the broker and told, help me find somebody. Tell them it's a good investment to buy a house in India now. Okay. So for example, let's say I'm staying in ECR Chennai, East Coast Road Chennai. There only Talapati Vijay is staying now. Vijay is now the CM of Tamil Nadu. So I'm telling people abroad, hey, next to Vijay's house, 3 streets away, I have a small land. Now the value will go up because the CM is staying next to that. All the amenities will go up. Find somebody abroad to buy this. So sale of residential house paid to agent abroad for sale of property in India. Are you getting it, guys? So I have a property in India. Somebody abroad is buying that. For that, I have an agent for which I am paying commission. Now I am selling either residential property or commercial property. Residential or commercial, anyone. And they are saying the commission can be paid. Otherwise, why will agents work? They are saying you can pay $25,000 or 5% of inward remittance, whichever is higher. What is inward remittance, sir? Let's say my inward remittance is 10 crores. Okay. Let's say my inward remittance is 10 crores. So 10 crores into 5%, 10 crores into 5%, which will be basically 50 lakhs or $25,000 convert to rupees, whichever is higher, guys. That's what is allowed. So remember the limit, 25,000 or 5% of inward remittance. So if you sell for a higher price, higher inward remittance, in that 5%, whichever is higher, guys. This is for other than individual. First sale of property. Second, consultancy service. What is consultancy service? Now for example, let's say I am shooting a movie, I want to do CGI graphics for that. Indian team is doing graphics, now I know how it will be. So I'm getting some Oscar award winning person and he's doing graphics for my Ramayana movie. Amazing graphics has come. So I am getting consultancy from abroad. For what purpose? Any purpose. I can pay up to $1 million, which is nothing but 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs in dollars. Okay, 1 million is 10 lakhs, guys. Sir, I am getting consultancy. I am building metro. I am getting consultancy from a foreign construction company, not Indian construction, from foreign construction company. Then $10 million. $10 million or nothing but 1 crore in rupees, dollars I'm giving, guys. So basically consultancy service, import of consultancy service. For infrastructure, $10 million. For others, 1 million. Repeat with me, guys, from wherever you're watching. Consultancy service for infrastructure purpose, 10 million. For other purpose, 1 million. Let me repeat, consultancy for infrastructure import, 10 million, others is 1 million. Third is reimbursement of pre-incorporation expenses. Now, let's say I have incorporated a company abroad. I am in India, I have incorporated a company abroad. Okay, or I have incorporated a company in India. Sorry, this is the point. Somebody from abroad is incorporating a company in India, for which if I am reimbursing the incorporation expenses, pre-incorporation expenses, it's 5% of inward remittance or $1 lakh, whichever is higher, guys. Whatever he has invested in that 5%, I will give it back to him as incorporation expense or $1 lakh. Why this comes? Elon Musk, all these foreign people will invest money in India by starting companies. In that they will tell legal cost, they want reimbursement. That reimbursement of pre-incorporation expense is 5% of inward remittance or $1 lakh, whichever is higher. Lastly, important point, this also they have tested a few times. Donation. I am giving donation for what purpose, sir? You can give donation for one of these three things. One, chair in a reputed institution, reputed educational institution like Oxford, Harvard. I want to buy a chair there. Chair for sitting, sir, not that chair, to be one of the members of the board. Or I want to give donation to get a chair. I want to give donation for a fund promoted by educational institution, any fund promoted by educational institution, or any technical institution or body of association in the field of donor company. Now, I am a company in India, Sun Pharma. I am doing research in cancer cure. Okay. Some other company, technical institution is there in US also doing cancer cure. So I am giving donation to that technical institution, body of association in the field of donor company. I am in the field of cancer cure, so I can donate to another technical institution in the field of cancer cure. How much you can donate? You can donate only 1% of forex earnings of last 3 years of your company, not average. So my company, for example, imagine I am SRM college. Okay, in my college, foreign students are coming and studying. So because of this, I have earned foreign earnings. In many years. I will do total of last 3 years foreign earnings of my company. In that apply 1% or $5 million, whichever is less, guys. Okay, or $5 million, whichever is less, I can, what to say, donate. Are you following, guys? So these are the 4 things in current accounts other than individual. So we are now done with current account 4 cases. Next, let me go to capital account over here, but before that there are some exemptions, miscellaneous topics. Whenever you see these terms, it's exempted, guys. What are they? If you see any transactions happening from RFC account, resident foreign currency account, exchange earners foreign currency account, or international cards, credit cards, it is completely allowed transaction, guys. Especially international credit card up to 2,50,000 allowed. Resident foreign currency or EFC account means basically these are accounts in Indian currency, it's allowed. LRS scheme up to 2,50,000, correct? As a family, I'm going as a family of 4, sir. That means you will get 4 into 2 lakh 50, totally 10 lakh. 10 lakhs you will get. Sir, can I go and buy an asset for this 10 lakh dollars abroad? Yes, if it's within the name of the owner should be within those 4 people. Those joint owners should be there. Now, next, capital account and current account. Sir, what is current and capital account? So far you showed us these 4 things, which is current account. So what is current and capital account? They define current account as other than capital account. So what is capital account now? Capital account, they are saying for a PRII, for a PROI. Who is a PRII? We are yet to see residential status. So PRII is resident, PROI is non-resident. For PRII, if the person is altering, if I'm going to alter the asset liability, if I'm going to alter the asset liability or contingent liability outside India. So for me, I'm a PRII, my asset, my liability, my contingent liability outside India is getting altered. Or for a PROI, for example, for Trump, who's a PROI, he's altering his asset or liability in India. His asset or liability in India is getting altered. So important, guys, for a PRII, contingent liability altered outside India is included. For a PROI, contingent liability, even if it gets altered in India, it is not included. So for PRII, asset, contingent liability and liability altering outside India I will include. For PROI, only alteration of asset and liability in India is included. Sir, next question you should be having the logic and answer is why contingent liability is not included in this part of the definition. Again, that's a beautiful logic which takes 20 minutes. Given the time that we have for exam now, I'm only focusing on key points which you have to mug up, guys. Of course, in 2 hours or 3 hours, what I'm teaching you, whole syllabus of 100 hours, I will be able to tell you only key points to remember. Now, capital account transactions which are prohibited, guys. Capital account has schedule 1 and schedule 2. It talks about transactions for PRII and PROA which are allowed. I am not looking at that now. You will go read that by yourself. I will show you that in the book. In capital account, what is prohibited? 1. Up to 2,50,000 it's allowed. More than 2,50,000 get RBI permission. That I already know, sir. Transaction with North Korea, Kim Jong-un. No, not allowed, guys, because that country is very private in its affairs. They will not disclose transactions. But after that also, I went and married a girl in North Korea, sir. I purchased land over there, purchased assets over there. Within 180 days, you should dispose, not the girl, you should dispose the asset. Dispose the asset and intimate central government, guys. Marriage you can do if you want to take that risk, means you can do it, guys. So North Korea, it is not allowed, guys. Then a PROI cannot invest in India in the following things. He cannot invest in TDRs. What is TDRs? Transferable development rights. He can't invest. Agricultural or plantation, he cannot invest, guys. Agricultural or plantation, he cannot invest. In real estate, he cannot invest. Then he cannot invest in construction of farmhouse in India, not allowed. Nidhi company investment in India, not allowed. Business of chit fund he wants to invest, not allowed. So PROI, Trump, for example, cannot invest in India in transferable development rights, agriculture or plantation, real estate, construction of farmhouse, Nidhi company, business of chit fund. Logic, these are sensitive areas in India. We don't want foreigners to take control of the same. But in real estate, these things are exempted. These things are allowed. What is that? Road he can construct, infrastructure only, no good, he can't take it and go. Bridge he can construct. Residential or commercial property he can invest because he can't take and go, and townships he can do. So real estate not allowed, but in real estate the most important things like road, bridge, residential, commercial property and township is allowed, guys. Important area for the exam. With this we are done with the entire limits part of the chapter. If I come back to expected question now, we still have residential status and point number 5 and 6. Let me 5 and 7. Let me finish 5 and 7 first for you. Okay, this is point number 7, guys, which says not yet tested, where an individual who is a resident but not permanently resident in India, so basically an Indian, and citizen of a foreign state other than Pakistan or a citizen of India, so basically foreign people who are in deputation to the office or branch of a foreign company or its subsidiary or its joint venture in India, basically foreign nationals, a PROI, where an individual who is a resident but not permanent resident in India and a citizen of a foreign state other than Pakistan, because Pakistan people are not allowed to come and work in India. Foreign nationals, if they are working in India, guys, in Indian company or subsidiary in India, when you go work in US, you will bring the money back to India. So if somebody is working in India, can they take the money back abroad? They can make remittance net of his salary after reduction of taxes, contribution to PF. So in India, if he's earning salary of 1 lakh, first remove TDS, let's say 10,000, remove PF, ESA 5,000. For example, net 85,000 can be taken back to India, and duration of such job shall not exceed 3 years. Sir, how, sir? That means foreign people should not work in India for more than 3 years. If foreigners are working in India, taking money and going out, our forex is going out, guys. So they are saying not more than 3 years, but practically their contract will be made for 3 years. After that, you have to renew the business visa. That's about it. This is point number 7. This is the point that we have over here. Remitting salary under deputation provided job does not exceed 3 years. There's a similar May 25 RTP question. You can go through this also. Point number 5. Let me go to point number 5. This is point number 5. Very, very important, guys. Again, exemptions in capital account transactions. A PRII, person resident in India, okay, person resident in India, for example, you or me may hold, own, transfer or invest in foreign currency, foreign security or any other immovable property situated outside India. You and me are allowed to buy foreign security, money outside India, immovable property outside India if the same was acquired by such person, you and me, when he was PROI. Imagine I was working in US for many years. I was a PROI. When I was working in US in Google, I earned some money. With that money, I purchased property in US. Allowed, don't disturb. Or inherited from a PROI. Imagine my parents are from US. From them, I am inheriting the property. It's allowed. So you or me, now we may be a PRII. Now we may be a PRII. But sometime back when we were a PROI outside India, you purchase some assets, you can still retain it, or you inherited something from other country, you can keep it, guys. Other country people means you inherited something from a PROI, your parents, grandparents, somebody was PROI. Opposite, PROI. For example, let's take Donald Trump. Our Trump can hold, own, transfer, invest in Indian currency, security or immovable property in India. Trump can invest in immovable property in India. When he acquired the same, when he was a PRII or he inherited from a PRII, guys. Trump, when he was a PRII, he can get it. How can he inherit it from PRII? Let me give an example. Glenn Maxwell, Australian cricketer, is a PROI. But half the time he is in India because his wife is an Indian. He is playing IPL in India. So when he is in India, when he became a PRII, he can purchase property in India, or he inherited from his wife or some other, let's say, Indian lineage descendants he has, he can get from them, guys. I gave example. Sachin purchased house in Australia when he was a PROI. Bill Gates purchased house in Chennai when he was a PRII, guys. This is some capital account transactions. And in this only, one more thing you have to go through at your end, guys. In capital account schedule 1, list of permissible transactions made by a person resident in India. I gave some examples. And list of permissible account transaction by person resident outside India. I gave some points. So all these are self-explanatory, allowed. Same points are there even in my new law book, guys. This batch, like I told in the introduction, this is the last attempt where I will be taking expected question marathon using my old material, because majority of students are using my old material. I wanted to take using this. As we keep going in September exam onwards, I'm sure you should not be part of that, but your juniors, we will be using the new material because I'm allowing this attempt for transition into new material, guys. But if you're a student watching the new material, same thing, here it's in black and white, there it's in color, guys. The last one thing we have left in FEMA. So with this, we are done with question 5 and 7. Okay. The last one thing we have left under FEMA is residential status, guys. Residential status. Yeah, it's just one page in my book, and this time residential status is very important, guys. Now in expected question marathon, residential status alone will take another 20 minutes. I don't want to complicate residential status over here on YouTube for all of you, because residential status is one area whichever faculty you studied from, that faculty would have taught you in their own style. Okay, in my book it's only one page, in some other faculty book it will be multiple pages, because it's a tricky area. Each faculty teaches you in their own style. So I want you to learn from your own notes and become strong over here, because I should not confuse you by teaching you in a different way. In the sense, I have a shortcut of learning this. Okay, so in this expected question marathon, I am not taking you what is the residential status for you, but very important for this, especially inter May 26 attempt. Don't skip this. In fact, you should learn this first in FEMA. So I have finished everything else important in FEMA in 30 minutes. You will be learning this by yourself. Sir, we still want your residential status, guys. I have given GenZ Marathon link in the description of this video. I'm repeating, this marathon is going to be for 3 to 4 hours covering important chapters, etc. But GenZ Marathon for 4 hours is given in description of this video, where I would have quickly revised residential status for 15 to 20 minutes, guys. Go through that. Again, some topics like this can be taught only in regular class for 1 to 2 hours. So I don't want to sacrifice on pure concept over here. So revise by yourself or watch the GenZ Marathon. That's about it, guys. We will move on to the next chapter. With this, we are done with FEMA also. We will go to the next one. Thank you. Let's start off now with charges chapter, guys. When I say charge, you have to take charge of your preparation, like how Vijay took charge of Tamil Nadu and BJP took charge of West Bengal and every other state. If you're a follower of them, good for you. If not, also good for you, because your priority has to be exam, and my priority now is to give you the best in this expected questions, guys. And charges, let's take charge of this chapter in the entire syllabus. Let's start off with section 81 or 85, register of members, guys. Now, what is 81 and 85 of this chapter? Basically, both these sections says, one says the ROC should maintain the register of charges, one says the company should maintain register of charges, and both these registers should of course synchronize, but they don't talk about them to be reconciled. Both are separately maintained. So 81 says the ROC in the MCA website will maintain the register of charges, and anybody who wants, whether it's a member of the company, whether it's a creditor, whoever it is, they can inspect by paying a fees. Okay, so you can inspect which company has taken how much loan and what is the property they have given for charge of any company in India by going to ROC website. But same way in section 85, every company also should maintain a register of charges. Sir, where should we maintain this? It will be maintained in the registered office of the company, guys. It will be maintained in the registered office of the company. Now, this register will be maintained permanently. Sir, what do you mean permanently? For example, if this is my register, guys, this register will be maintained permanently, but in this register, I will have some registers which is for creating some certificates for creating the charge, some certificates for modification, some certificates for, let's say, satisfaction of charge. So those certificates, if I maintain for 8 years, it's enough. Imagine you as a student from LKG till now, you will have a file with all the participation certificates and winning certificates you got in your life. Those certificates, if you maintain for 8 years, it's enough. But what all certificates you got, list of all the certificates, that index of certificates is there. No, that register will be maintained permanently by the company. Are you following, guys? Now, if a member and creditor of the company want to inspect, they will inspect without fees for free. So if you are a member or creditor of a company, if you want to inspect for some other company, go to ROC, pay the fees and inspect. If you want to inspect for your own company, go to the registered office or you mail them and you can inspect without fees. Others, if they want to inspect from my own company, either you go to 81 or 85. In both places you have to pay the fees, guys. And this register, because maintained by company, how do I check the authentication? It's authenticated by director or CS or any other person who's authorized by the both guys. So this is 81 and 85. 81 simple section not that important, but 85 very important for exam, because one is maintained permanently. Register containing certificates. Certificates is for 8 years. To inspect this, member creditors for free, others will have to pay fees guys. Maintained in the registered office. Next, section 80 date of notice, and section 84 intimation of appointment of official receiver guys. Let me go to that section, those two sections. Section 80 talks about date of notice. Now remember guys, this charge is a public document. Since it's a public document under section 399, it is deemed that everybody dealing with the company is aware of this public document. So what doctrine applies here? Doctrine of constructive notice will apply. Doctrine of constructive notice is defense for the company that every third party entering into transaction with me is deemed to have read and understood. So what they are saying, if any person is acquiring property under charge, or person entering into any transaction with the company in which property there is a charge, it is deemed that he has such knowledge of the charge and he should inquire by himself. Of course company will disclose, but if company is not disclosing also, the third party should have knowledge of such charge on the company. Tomorrow he cannot tell that I didn't know, you didn't tell me earlier. Company is not liable if the person is not aware of the same. So section 80 is date of notice of charge, which says when any third party entering into transaction with company, it is deemed that he already knows about it because it's a public document, and if he doesn't know, company is not liable for any loss that other party is going to suffer. Next is section number 84 guys. Basically, generally who has responsibility of the property under charge? The bank will take responsibility, but sometimes for any company through a court order, if a person is appointing whom guys? Official receiver, manager or liquidator. We call him as official receiver or manager. In other words, we call him as liquidator. If such liquidator is appointed, now the charge of the asset is handed over from the bank, the charge holder, it gets handed over to whom guys? Liquidator. So there is transfer of power, there is transfer of charge. Therefore the person appointing, who is appointing? The court is appointing, should intimate whom guys? Company and ROC within 30 days. That's it. This procedure basically says the person appointing will intimate ROC within 30 days. Appointing whom? If you appoint official receiver, manager, that's it, you will intimate court. And then the official receiver, whenever he ceases to be an official receiver, that means an liquidator is going to quit the job, then again he has to intimate ROC and company. Simple guys. 84 says, I am appointing a liquidator for the company, intimate ROC in 30 days. That liquidator is leaving, he will again intimate company or ROC guys. That's it. This is section number 84. Let me go to modification of charge 79 or section 77. Charge time limits is important and other provisions in 77 along with section 87. First let me go to modification guys. Modification is section 79. So what is modification of charge? The act classifies modification into two buckets. One, they are saying company is acquiring a property under charge. That means already one property, one house, on that house one loan is taken, charge is there. Now that house you are coming and purchasing. Sometimes you see, no, I go buy a car, on that car already one loan or charge is there. That is first case. Or modification of terms of a registered charge. Sir, I already have an existing registered charge. That registered charge I am modifying the terms now. So what are the two cases guys? I am the company, bank is there. Between us already when charge is there, I am modifying the terms. Or I am now going and buying some asset from somebody else. That asset from somebody else from whom I am buying, that asset is already having a charge. In both these cases, this is called modification of charge. I have to intimate ROC in both these cases. Same time limits what is there in section 77. What is time limit? First we will intimate ROC within 30 days with normal prescribed fees. If you don't intimate in 30 days, they will give you next 30 days with additional fees. In the next 30 days also if you don't intimate, then you will get next 60 days with ad valorem fees. Anyway, I will come to 77 time limit again. What are some examples of modification? They have given 6 example. First 3 with respect to changes guys. What kind of change? Interest rate. For example, I took a loan for 12%, now I'm changing to 14%. Change of interest rate. Term, repayment schedule, I took 5 years loan changing to 7 years loan. Enhancing or decreasing limits, I took 10 crores loan making it 8 crores now or making it 15 crores. So basically basic changes like interest, repayment schedule, value of the loan. Next, partial release of property. I gave charge of my entire apartment. My apartment, let's say, has a ground floor, first floor, individual house, ground floor, first floor and second floor. Now I'm releasing second floor, or I gave 2 cars as security. Now 1 car is being released, guys, because half loan is repaid. So partial release of property, a property on which charge is there is now being released, it's free. Or converting the charge into pari passu. On the same asset, I have multiple banks I have taken loan. One big asset is there, huge building I have. From the same building I have taken loan from 4 banks. Now I'm converting it into pari passu, means all the 4 banks will have equal right in the asset, guys. Converting a loan into pari passu loan or any other terms and condition changed. So basically change of interest, repayment schedule or value, partial release, pari passu, others. Here there are 2 exceptions. What are the 2 exceptions they have given over here? Now if the bank is changing bank rate for everybody in the country, it's not a modification, then everybody has to inform ROC. So general change of RBI bank rate, all that, or bank is changing for everybody, that's not modification. Or working capital loan is there, means which is repayable on demand. Any working capital loan repayable on demand, the value keeps fluctuating every day. Therefore, this also is not a, what to say, modification of charge. Let me go to next section number 77. Now in section number 77, if you see, guys, duty of company to register the charge, company has to register. Same time limit I told you in detail. First in 30 days from the date of loan, you will register the charge in form CH1 if it's for normal, what to say, loan, and CH9 will come for debentures. CH1 for loan, CH9 is for debentures, guys. Then in the next 30 days with additional fees, and next 60 days with ad valorem fees. What is ad valorem fees? It's a percentage of the loan, guys. 77 also talks about verification of property. Property will be verified under 3 cases. Basically, I will tell you the cases, guys. In simple, I have summarized it for you over here. If the property is in India, there is only one option. Signed by director or CS or authorized by the charge holder, anyone. If the property is partly in India and partly outside India, then also partly in India and partly outside, then also same case, signed by director, CS or authorized by charge holder. Which point is that? Basically director or CS of the company or authorized by the charge holder, guys. Simple. So we have only one option. If property is in India fully or partly in India and partly outside, that means India is being touched. That means authenticated by director CS or authenticated by charge holder, authenticated by director CS or authenticated by charge holder. Where the property is outside India fully. Since it is outside India, they are saying, since it's outside India, they are giving you additional options apart from director CS authorized by charge holder. This also can be done. They're also giving 2 more options. Either it's going to be seal of the company can be done, that's sufficient. Because why? If property is outside India, these directors, CS, all these people could be outside India, difficult to get them to India just to sign. So seal of company, or what they are saying, under the hand of any other person other than the company who's interested in the charge. Let me read again. Under the hand of any other person other than the company who's interested in the charge. For example, foreign government. Since the property is outside India, the municipality of that particular government. So basically for outside India, they're giving some flexibility and they're giving 3 options. What are the 3 options? Seal of the company, director or CS of the company authorized by charge holder, or under the hand of any other person other than the company who's interested in the charge, for example local municipality, etc. This is for outside India, guys. In India or partly outside India, we have only one option, director or CS of company or authorized by any other authorized person by the any employee in the charge holder, which is nothing but the bank, guys. With this, in charges, I'm also done with what to say 77 and 77 along with section 87. So what is 87, guys? Now the time limit is basically 30, 30, 60. If you miss it in 30, 30, 60, Then they are saying in section number 87, what they are saying, for 77 for registering the charge, or 78 if charge holder fails, company to, I mean if the company fails charge holder to register on modification. Basically any of the registrations already done, if you want to do rectification or you have delayed the time limit, you have not done within the time limit, then you can condone the delay. If it's for just an equitable case, basically rectification and requesting for condonation, you can go to central government, which is now delegated to regional director, guys. So next is last one, 78, duty of charge holder to register the charge. 78 is duty of charge holder to register the charge. Yeah. So basically the company has to register within 30 days of, okay, if company is not registering in 30 days, then they have next 30 days, then they have next 60 days. But once they don't do in the first 30 days, the charge holder, who is nothing but the bank, the charge holder will not wait for next 30 and next 60 days. The charge holder, who is the bank, may apply to ROC for registration of charge. Okay, and for that purpose, whatever fees is there, that fees he will recover from the company, guys. This ROC will give a notice to the company and wait for 14 days, guys. So basically whose responsibility is to register the charge? Company. If company is not doing in the first 30 days, subsequent time, the bank, the charge holder will not wait for next 30 and next 60. If they want, they can wait, but if they do not waiting, what they can do is basically the charge holder, the bank itself can apply to ROC, and ROC will give a notice to the company and wait for 14 days. In this 14 days, what will happen? If no objection is received from the company, if they are replying by saying no objection, or if there is no reply, if they are silent. So basically notice is given by ROC to the company, and company has given no objection, and they have given reply no objection, or no reply if they are silent. That means we can proceed for registration. ROC will complete the registration, guys. If objection is given within 14 days, then once the objection are completed, we will register the charge. That might take more than 14 days. So basically this is a case where the bank charge holder will apply for registration if company fails. But in this gap, if company itself registers, if company itself applies, ROC will not consider the charge holder's application, bank's application, and register the company's application. So this is saying section 77 is more stronger than section 78, guys. Simple. This is section number 78. With this we are done with charges chapter. The only thing what I have not considered here is satisfaction of charge, 82 and 83, because in one of the recent attempts they have asked. But for these kind of chapters and all, don't take the risk, guys. Of course I've given you expected questions, but if at all you have the time, please go read section 82 and 83. Small chapters, guys. Why do you want to take the gamble in these small chapters? Satisfaction of charge. Also, if I add over here in expected questions, I'm giving you the entire chapter. So if you don't have time, read this. But if you can spend another 20-30 minutes, even go and revise satisfaction 82 and 83, which are very small sections. Let's move on to the next chapter and keep taking charge of our syllabus, guys. Come on, you're doing it for yourself, for your life to change, guys. Only hard work will change your life, guys. All the dreams that you guys have in your head, only you can achieve it, guys. Nobody else will do it for you. Let's move on to the next chapter quickly. Now let us start off with prospectus chapter, where I'll be starting off with red herring prospectus and definition of promoter first, guys. Let's enjoy learning. Let's go to red herring prospectus. We all know red herring prospectus is one of the 4 types of prospectus. Sir, what are other prospectus we have? Apart from red herring prospectus, we have deemed prospectus, we have shelf prospectus, and we have abridged prospectus. Now what is red herring prospectus? This is one type of a prospectus where price per share and quantum, number of shares, will not be disclosed in the prospectus. It will be found only after the issue is closed. That means the shareholders get to decide how much you want to pay per share and how many shares you want to purchase. Sir, for exam, what is important, sir? Quickly tell us, sir. Price per share and quantum, number of shares, are not given in a red herring prospectus. Apart from that, there are 3 other conditions which is given there in our study material for red herring prospectus in section number 32, which says The red herring prospectus should be issued prior to issue of the main prospectus. So first I will issue red herring prospectus and then only I will issue the main prospectus, guys. Then when should I file this red herring prospectus? This should be filed 3 days before opening the subscription list and offer. When the offer is opening, before the public can invest in the IPO or FPO, 3 days before that you have to file the red herring prospectus with ROC and SEBI. Sir, you told RH red herring prospectus should be issued before the prospectus. Then what about the final prospectus? After the issue is closed, after closure, file variation and price details to ROC. So what they are saying, between the red herring prospectus and the main prospectus, whatever difference is there, that variation we will file it to ROC, guys, and SEBI over here. Are you following, guys? These are the points that is there in study mat. Again, remember, guys, I don't have 100 hours to tell you in depth in concept. These are the key points to remember for exam. That's about it in red herring prospectus. Next, sir, tell us the definition of promoter. No, definition of promoter came in one of the attempts for a direct 3-mark question. So promoter is defined in 2 subsection 69. Sir, how do I remember these section numbers? In our class, I keep giving you hints to remember section numbers. So first, promoter, basically promoter will start what company? Promoter will be starting only a public company for issuing, what to say, prospectus for getting money from public. So basically what's going to happen, guys, promoters will issue what, guys? Promoters will issue a prospectus, and prospectus can be issued only for a public limited company. So let me tell you one more time. Remember the story, guys. If I am a promoter, I will issue prospectus for a public company. Promoter is 2 subsection 69. Prospectus is 2 subsection 70, and public company is 2 subsection 71. The section numbers also are sequentially arranged, guys. Promoter in 2 subsection 69 will issue a prospectus 2 subsection 70 for a public company. 2 subsection 69, 6 minus 9, 3, or 9 minus 6, 3. So prospectus basically has, promoters basically has 3 points under definition. First point, his name is mentioned in annual return or prospectus as promoter. Company files annual return, company issues prospectus. That prospectus only is in 2 subsection 70. In the prospectus, I am giving promoter's name. Second and third definition is nothing but holding and subsidiary definition. What is holding and subsidiary? First thing in holding is I have control over the company directly or indirectly, and next thing in holding subsidiary is in accordance with whose directions or instructions board is accustomed to act. So what are the 3 points quickly, guys, mentioned in annual return or prospectus? Control over the company or in instructions in whose instructions board is accustomed to act, guys. So with this, we are done with the first part, red herring prospectus and promoters definition. Second is fraud limits. There are some limits for fraud that we have to go through. So these are the limits for fraud, guys, and section 447 will come in many cases. For example, criminal liability, civil liability is there, means the person will be liable under fraud. In what to say, in charges chapter, if person does anything intentional, or deposit chapter if he does anything intentional, or in incorporation chapter if you incorporate a company by giving wrong information, all those cases, those people will be liable under 447 fraud. And in my view, for our May 26 exam specifically, fraud definition is important because they have never asked this in the new syllabus, even though this is part of our study material. So basically, this fraud definition, if you see, guys, okay, every book will have it, guys. How they classify the punishment is they split into involving public, not involving public interest. If it's involving public interest, penalty is going to be higher. So imprisonment minimum 3 years, no escape, maximum 10 years because public is affected. Fine, minimum amount involved in the fraud, how much ever you cheated them, maximum 3 times the amount involved in fraud. This is very simple. Please remember this, guys. Next, not involving public interest. They are saying, okay, fine, no problem. They are again giving sublimits in this. If my fraud is less than 10 lakhs or 1% of turnover, whichever is less, we have to compare. Sir, for example, my turnover is 10 crores, sir. In that, what is my 1% of 10 crores is 1 crore. Now I will compare 10 lakhs or 1 crore, whichever is less. Which is less over here? 10 lakhs is less. No, this is my benchmark. Now what is the actual fraud? Sir, my fraud is only 7 lakhs, sir. Yes, 7 lakhs is less than 10 lakhs. Then in that case, imprisonment, see, you did only 7 lakhs fraud. It is less than 10 lakhs, not involving public. So up to 5 years imprisonment is given. Up to 5, that means it can be 0 also. And fine just up to 50 lakhs, guys. For 7 lakhs fraud, they won't give you 50 lakhs. So up to 50 lakhs. Sir, more than 10 lakhs, sir. You have crossed more than 10 lakhs, sir. Then little bit increase. Imprisonment, minimum 6 months. Earlier case, we had minimum 3 years. So 6 months to 10 years and fine. Same as the previous case. Minimum amount involved in fraud and maximum 3 times the amount of fraud. If you don't have in this book, don't ask me for soft copy. It's anyway there, guys. But take a screenshot, quickly mug up, write it in your notebook and practice, guys. Let's go to the next one. We will go on to the next expected question of section 40, application in stock exchange, underwriting limits and variation of object. These three, and especially RTP May 26 has a very good question in variation. Therefore, I have specifically kept it over here, guys. I will take all these three, guys. First, application to be dealt in stock exchange. Once a company finishes the IPO, they want to list their shares in stock exchange. So I will apply to the stock exchange. Stock exchange will either accept or reject. Okay, if they accept means very good. So I make application to recognize stock exchange. And if they accept means nothing to worry, guys. They will go proceed on to allotment. But if they reject, then the entire allotment is void. Whatever money you collected from public, entire money has to be refunded. Now I am making an agreement. I am the company, public is there. Stock exchange did not accept. Me and the public are saying, hey, don't worry, guys. Stock exchange didn't agree. We will treat ourselves as an unlisted or listed company among ourselves. Please give the money to me. Still, I anyway have it. I will do business. No. If application is rejected, whatever agreement, whatever nonsense you do, nothing is allowed, it's void. You have to refund the money. Even if you make another agreement between yourself, such agreement is not valid, guys. This is section number, what to say, same section number, application to be dealt in stock exchange, section number 39. The same section, okay. Sorry, this is section number 40, application to be dealt in stock exchange. Same section 40 also has underwriting commission. Now for underwriting, for me to pay this commission, how to pay, sir? Either use your own company's profits, sir, or I am making some issue now. Sir, what issue, sir? Now you are going to say, for example, let's say you're issuing 50 crores. For this 50 crores only, you are getting some underwriter and paying commission now. So I can pay underwriting commission from proceeds of issue from that 50 crores which I am getting. So I will get public issue money. From that money I will pay underwriting commission. Either I can use profits or I can use proceeds of the issue. Now commission, can I give any commission of my choice? Nothing like that, guys. They have given for shares and debentures different rates. We should remember these rates for exam. For shares it's 5% or any lower rate the company can decide in its articles, and for debentures it's 2.5% or any lower rate what the articles have given, guys. Let me repeat how to remember. Shares is going to be 5% or articles whichever is less. For debentures 2.5% or articles whichever is less. How to remember, guys? Share has SHARE, 5 letters, 5%, guys. Debentures we generally write DEB short, so 2.5%. Stupid ways to remember, but that stupid way only will save you in the exam, guys. Next, okay, variation I should still teach you. Yeah, variation. Now what is this variation of object of prospectus? These are detailed points in whichever book you are learning, but I have given it to you in one line so that you will remember these keywords. What is variation of object of prospectus, guys? Understand. Imagine I am a company, I issued money to public, I got money from public and I got 100 crores from public. For what purpose, sir? For building a hospital. Now I build the hospital with 90 crores itself. So I still have extra 10 crores money. With this 10 crores, I have decided to build an apartment or build a movie theater, not operation theater. I am using the money from public, not for the purpose I got, I'm using for some other purpose. So if I'm going to change the object from which I raised money from public, what is the procedure? Exactly same procedure will also come. Equal same procedure will also come in section number 13 for alteration of MOA, guys. for alteration of MOA, in alteration of MOA, which clause if you want to alter the object clause. So this procedure I'm going to teach you now, which you're going to revise now, is going to come in two places. Variation of object for which money is raised in prospectus, or variation of object clause in MOA. First, company will pass special resolution in postal ballot, and when I'm passing this special resolution in postal ballot, I have to give an explanatory statement why I'm doing it, what I'm going to do. Such explanatory statement will tell how much money is spent, how much is unspent, what I'm going to spend it for the future, by when I will finish it, what is the risk in the project. All those things will elaborate, guys. Then once I do a special resolution in newspaper, you will publish it, and you will also give a notice in the website of the company. Newspaper, website, both are come. And then we will also give exit opportunity for dissenting shareholders. Some of them will not be happy. Give them an exit opportunity, guys. The next concept is basically DMAT related provisions or private placement. I will come to private placement in the last. Before that, DMAT. Now, DMAT is applicable for whom? Quickly, let me finish. It's applicable for all public companies. Mandatory shares have to be in DMAT. And even for all private companies, it has to be in DMAT. So initially incorporating, it will be in physical form. But later, if a private company has to issue bonus rights or buyback, it's not possible unless it's there in DMAT, guys. Then there are some other points in Rule 9. I have only picked the key points from that. For DMAT, you have to give security deposit of not less than 2 years should be given to depository. I will give to depository security deposit of not less than 2 years. Then every year I have to file one return. How else will we get money? So PAS 6 should be filed within 30 days of end of each half year with CA and CS sign. So I will file a form PAS 6 with the ROC with end of every half year within the 30 days. So June 30th it ends, means within next 30 days I will file PAS 6, guys. CACS will sign. And reconciliation will be given. In my company, how many shares are in physical, how many shares are in DMAT, the same will be filed with ROC, guys. And any grievances of shareholders, if I am addressing those grievances of shareholders, I have to address it and give a report to SEBI that how many grievances I got and how many did I actually fix. These are some points that you have to remember in DMAT, guys. Next is private placement, but I will keep private placement to the last because it's a big procedure. So I have kept it separately over here. Don't worry, guys, I will take it up in the end. Next is civil and criminal liability. Okay, sir, 34 is criminal liability, 35 is civil liability. I gave prospectus, but in my prospectus, any statement I gave is misleading. Simply I am saying that Dhoni is my friend, Dhoni has invested in the company, misleading. Or any omission which is misleading. I have some 100 cases on me in the court, but I have not revealed it. You thought I'm a genuine person. Simply I'm saying, guys, but I'm just giving you for prospectus. So any statement which is misleading or any omission which is misleading, and because of that misleading statement or omission, you have suffered some loss, then all those person who authorized this issue, promoters, directors, expert, everybody who authorized will be liable under section 447. What is 447? Fraud, we just now saw. How can you escape? You can escape. What is defense? How can you escape? If you should prove such statement or omission of a statement was immaterial. For example, I told I'm constructing a building. I told I will put white paint, but I put gray paint. It's immaterial. How will that affect the property value? So I have to prove statement or omission is immaterial. And I should tell I didn't include something because that omission was necessary. Okay, I should tell omission is necessary because, for example, let's say I will say one of the directors has a health issue. Why should I disclose that it's not necessary for you? He's still functioning. No. So what if he has diabetes? How is it going to affect your decision? Or lastly, I should tell the person who signed believed it to be true. For example, there are 3 directors. 2 of them did fraud. 3rd person trusted and signed. So this guy has to prove that I thought it's true. I didn't know about all of this. So criminal liability, basically the summary is, if there's any statement or omission which is misleading, then everybody who authorized is liable for criminal liability. But the defense for you is 3 things. Either you should feel it's immaterial, or you should feel this omission is necessary, I should not have this, or lastly, believe it to be true. Same way, section 35, civil liability, the person suffers loss due to misstatement in prospectus. Who's the person? The shareholder. I purchased share looking at the prospectus. Later the share went in the market and share price crashed. For example, Ola, Paytm. But there it didn't crash because of misstatement. It crashed because business did not go well. So if there is any mistake over here in the prospectus, then here in 34, if you see, Criminal liability, I'm only punishing you in 447. What did we see in 447? Only there is penalty and imprisonment for you. But what about the people who suffered loss because of you? So everybody who authorized such issue, the directors, promoters, expert, people who are going to authorize will compensate the loss to you. Now I'm telling, hey, I intentionally signed wrongly. My goal was to cheat you. I am a fraud fellow. Then if it's intentional to defraud, my goal is to cheat you. That's why I did. Then liability becomes unlimited. For example, I wanted to cheat you. I got caught. Liability becomes unlimited. Same way how you have defense for criminal liability, we also have defense for civil liability. What are those 4 defenses, guys? First, the director saying issued without his consent. Yeah, I didn't know. Without me knowing they issued prospectus, I have to prove it. Everything, all the defenses the director or the people who sign should prove. What is second defense? Withdrew consent and gave public notice. Initially I gave consent. I thought he was genuine directors. Later I found out they were doing fraud. So I withdrew my consent and gave a reasonable public notice that I am withdrawing my consent. Relied on expert. I didn't know anything. Expert told me that in this land we can construct some 100-story building. So I gave consent. Later only I found out in this land only 30 floors I can construct, 100 floors cannot be constructed. So I relied on expert, means I am not liable, expert is liable. And lastly, same point of what we have in criminal last, believe it to be true. Here also last one, believe it to be true, guys. So both cases, believe it to be true. Are you following, guys? These are the defenses. I have just taken the crux of the point. Whichever book you are following, same points will be there for you. And of course, I have aligned all the points based on what is there in my book. So students who are studying from my book, the points will be much more aligned, guys. But end of the day, I have taken my book also from Study Math, so don't have to worry. Next, there are some new additions in Study Math. Section 30, 33 and 38. Very important. Quickly, section 30 talks about advertisement of prospectus. When company is giving advertisement of prospectus in the newspaper or in website, certain information should be given. What is this information? Don't worry, whatever clause is there in memorandum of association, MOA, all those clauses will be there. What clause? Object clause of the company. But don't write clause. Remove that clause and write the term. Object clause of the company should be there. Liability of members will be there. Amount of share capital clause, liability clause, signatories of memorandum, subscription clause, and capital structure, capital clause. Basically, in simple words, details of MOA clauses to be added over here. 30. Next, 33. 33 is basically not abridged prospectus, but in certain cases abridged prospectus need not be issued. 3 points, 3 exceptions, not required in 3 cases, generally mandatory always, but exempted in 3 cases. Underwriting agreement for shares or debentures, rights issue or shares or debentures not issued to public. So let me repeat again, guys. Underwriting, rights issue and not issued to public, not required. Section 38 is punishment for personalization for acquisition of securities. What they are saying in this section, sometimes you studied for share application allotment, a lot of refunds will be given because only I have 100 crores of shares I can give, but 1000 crores came because it's a big company. So I want to somehow get the allotment. So sometimes what people will do, they will make multiple applications. How they will make multiple applications? Some applications will be made in fictitious name, then multiple applications will be made in the same name with different combinations. I am Karthik Manikonda. I will apply with Manikonda Karthik, Karthik M Karthik. Like that I will change with different combinations of his surname. So first fake name. For example, my name is Karthik, I'm applying as Kaka. I'm saying Kaka, I'm applying. So fake name or different combination of for surname and last name, or directly or induces the company to allot shares in fictitious name. I'm calling the CS in the company and telling, hey, apply for my name, I want it. If those kinds of things are done, then the money will be, allotment will be void, and all that money will not be refunded to me because I'm trying to do fraud. This will be as disgorgement of gain, and this money will go to my section 125. It goes to my IEPF credit, guys. We already saw IEPF earlier. Okay. This is prospectus allotment 30, 33 and 38. Last surprise question number 36. Punishment in 3 cases. Let me show you that punishment in 3 cases, guys, quickly. Yeah. So section number 36, small section. Instead of writing in iPad, I'm just showing it to you over here. This also has not been tested. Not much related to prospectus chapter, but if you do any of these 3 things, 1, 2, 3, You are liable under section 447 fraud. What is it? Obtaining credit facility from bank. I am giving wrong information to bank and getting loan. Bank is saying, what is your credit score? Have you ever taken a loan? Has there been any case on you? Everything you're saying, no. Then you're giving all wrong information just to get loan, credit facility from bank. Then why I'm doing this? By means of giving wrong information, wrong forecast. Sometimes in bank loan, they will tell give last 5 years data, next 5 years projection. Wrong forecast, deceptive information, or deliberately conceals material facts. There are so many cases on my company, but I am saying there is no case on my company. All this wrong information is given to get the loan from bank, then liable under 447. All this wrong information for what else I can do? For entering into underwriting also, I should make agreement with some bank. That time also I gave wrong information. And lastly, securing profits from sale of securities through price fluctuations. You see these Instagram creators and Telegram admins, they will try to control the share market by telling buy this share, sell this share. Because of the huge followers they have, they can control the price fluctuations and make profit. If you do like that by giving wrong information, you are liable. Sir, section 36, again 36. 3 minus 6, we have 3 points. 1, wrong information, wrong forecasting, deceptive information. For what purpose? Credit facility from bank, underwriting commission, wrong information, or let's say securing profit from sale of securities in price fluctuation, guys. So basically, we are now done with. Come here, look at prospectus chapter. All the concepts I have quickly revised over here, guys. Okay, next, only one thing we have left is private placement. Once I finish private placement, this will come to an end. So let me quickly go to private placement, guys. Okay, private placement, the first thing is maximum number of people to whom I can give private placement securities in one financial year is 200. So let me read all the limits with respect to 200. So one financial year maximum 200, guys. Now in this 200, I will not count two types of people. QIB and ESOP is not counted. Given to employees and QIB is not counted, guys. And the limit of 200 is not applicable for the following people. Who are the people? Limit of 200 is not applicable. NBFC and National Housing Bank. So NBFC can do private placement for more than 200. Logic, sir, I will tell you in class, but since I told you already here, NBFC is in the nature of issuing securities. My whole business is getting money from people. So no limit of 200, and same for National Housing Bank. QAB ESOP is not counted. That logic in class, much detailed logic, so I'm not covering it over here. Remember these two. Both are different. Here 200 limit is not applicable. Here it is 200 limit is exempted, guys. Okay, here it is exempted. Here it is exempted. Here this limit itself is not applicable for these people. Then, sir, this 200 is for equity shares, preference shares, debentures all put together, or for each class of securities separately. Apply limit individually to each security. Equity shares 200, preference shares 200, debentures 200, like that, and I will apply for 1 year, and every 1 year the limit will reset, guys. And for doing private placement, company has to pass special resolution, and such a resolution will be valid for 1 year, guys. This is the basic points around 200. Now if I come down procedure, sir, once you pass the special resolution, you have to do it along with explanatory statement telling why you want to do private placement to this particular person. For example, in my company, mental health startup I have, it's called the Mind and Company. So in my mental health startup, let's say some celebrity is interested to invest. Let's say, for example, Dhoni wants to invest. He wants to spread awareness around mental health. So for Dhoni, I will do private placement of securities. So for that first two, I will pass resolution giving explanatory statement. Once I do that, I have identified people. Which people I have identified? Dhoni. Dhoni is identified in my special resolution. Once I pass the resolution, within the next 30 days, identified people, I have to file PAS 4 offer to, file to ROC. To ROC, I will tell that within 30 days, I will say PAS 4 will be filed. Sorry, within 30 days, let me correct, guys. Once I pass the resolution that I want to give offer to Dhoni, within 30 days in PAS 4, I have to give the offer to Dhoni. I have to give the offer to Dhoni. And then once offer is given to Dhoni, within the next 30 days in form PAS 5, I will intimate ROC, guys. Let me again repeat this point. First, special resolution area over here, I will identify people. Once I identify people in the next 30 days, I will give PAS 4 To people whom I have identified, I will give Dhoni the offer. After that, in the next 30 days, I will intimate ROC that whomever I gave offer. So I am passing resolution. From the date of resolution, I will give offer to Dhoni within 30 days. Once I give offer to Dhoni in PAS 4, then I will intimate ROC in next 30 days and form PAS 5, guys. Then Dhoni will take his own sweet time, and then money will be given to me. That money will come to me in banking channels only. So I cannot expect everyone to give me money on the same day, correct? I can give offer to multiple people. When I get this money, I have to allot this. I have to allot this within 60 days, guys. Once I get the money, allotment has to be done within 60 days. And after I do allotment within 60 days, PAS 3 in 15 days to ROC. So once allotment is done within 60 days, within the next 15 days, I have to intimate ROC by filing PAS 3. If you don't allot within 15 days, then refund in the next 15 days, guys. So once 60 days gets over for allotment, two things can happen. Allotment happened, intimate ROC in 15 days. Allotment didn't happen, refund the money in 15 days. And when you're refunding money, interest is at 12% from the 61st day. From 61st day, I will give interest at 12%, guys. Remember, even though they're giving me 15 days time for refund, it is not 60 plus 15, 76th day interest. No, sir. Already you had 60 days. So from 61st day, I will be giving the interest, guys. Now, because money is coming in banking channels, but however, if money is coming from a country, from an individual in a country sharing land border with India, who is sharing land border with India, guys? Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar. From these countries, China, if money is coming to us, then you should also get FEMA approval, guys, because there is what to say, land border, lot of money laundering happens. Durandar movie you have seen. To avoid all of that, FEMA approval it comes. Lastly, I am doing a private placement. I can't do public advertisement. So no form of public advertisement is anytime allowed. And lastly, company cannot make fresh issue. Already when private placement is going on, I gave it to Dhoni. Now at the same time, some other investors also interested to invest in my company. For example, let's say lady superstar Nayanthara also wants to invest in mental health company. I cannot give her the offer until the offer to Dhoni is completed, guys. So company cannot make fresh issue unless the prior offer is completed or existing offer is withdrawn. Simple. I am already eating something. If I want to eat the next spoon, either swallow what is there, that is prior offer is completed, or you spit and eat the new one, existing offer is withdrawn. I hope you understood what I'm trying to say, guys. I'm telling you all these things so you will remember no new offer until prior is completed or existing offer is withdrawn. These are the provisions of expected questions in Prospectus chapter from my side. Roughly in less than 30 minutes we have revised. Yes, we have just started off our expected question marathon, guys. I'm taking up those chapters which cover important marks. So I'm going a little slowly, and little bit later we will pick up the pace, guys. Goal is not to finish in 10 minutes one chapter. Nothing you understand. Even if I spend extra 20 minutes, it's okay. Are you understanding? That's the most important thing, guys. Let's move on. Hello guys, if you are watching this and if you are still watching till here, awesome. We are almost towards the end. 7 chapters are fully done. Your entire other loss is completed. Charges, dividend, prospectus fully done, guys. Now when we come to the last chapter over here, which is my preliminary chapter, I have realized that preliminary chapter has not been tested in Jan 26 exam. So the expected question of Jan 26 is same as it is for May 26 with no changes, with absolutely no change. So whatever I have done for Jan 26, same thing is applicable for May 26. So I have given the same 20-minute discussion of preliminary expected question because there is no change. Continue watching those 20 minutes of Jan 26 for May 26. I have added to this video. Once that is done, in total 8 chapters will be done. What about the remaining chapters, sir? Like I told, for the now that we are done with 8 chapters, once you watch preliminary, it will be done. For remaining 7 chapters, like I told in the introduction, which I'm again repeating over here, you can go refer to the GenZ Marathon, where I would have revised the remaining 7 chapters in less than 2 hours, especially topics like meetings and share capital. That video details I will give you in the link in the description of this video. You can take it from there also. That's about it. Go enjoy preliminary. If you have watched till here, just another 20 minutes, finish preliminary, and in the ending let me know in the comments how effective it was for your confidence. All the very best. 2 questions. So let's start off with associate company and small company definition. This chapter predominantly has only definitions around it. The first one is associate company, guys. If you look at associate company, it says there is one company, that first company, let's call it the first company, which is the investing company. It becomes investing company in the other company if it has SI, which is nothing but significant influence. Now let me repeat the same thing again. The first company known as the investing company, I will call it the investing company in the other company if it has SI, significant influence. Then the other company is called an associate company, guys. So first company is investing if it has significant influence in other company, known as the associate company. The Companies Act does not define the term joint venture. Joint venture is included in this definition. Associate company includes joint venture, guys. Now the term significant influence definition has two parts. The first part says the first company has 20% or more of the total voting power in the second company. That means investing company has 20% or more of the voting power in associate company. Voting power means what, sir? Paid up share capital or preference shares, what share capital? Here they are including equity share capital and convertible preference shares. Very important exam testable worth area. Why they use convertible preference shares? Because preference shares can be converted into equity shares in the future. So if one company has 20% or more of the total voting power of the other company, then the first company is investing, second is associate, and the voting power includes equity share capital and convertible preference shares, guys. Again, significant influence. Without having even voting power, I can still have significant influence in other company if you control the business decisions of that company. So very simple. The investing company in the associate can have two things: 20% or more of the voting power, or they control the business decisions, and this is called significant influence in the other company, guys. With this, we are done with the definition of associate company. Next is small company, 2 subsection 85. For calling something as a small company, first it should be a private limited company. Only a private company can be a small company, guys. And for it to be a small company, there are two limits: turnover and paid up share capital. And I have to satisfy both. Turnover up to 40 crores. Paid up share capital up to 4 crores. Let me repeat: turnover up to 40 crores and paid up share capital up to 4 crores in the preceding financial year. In which year, sir? It will be in the preceding financial year. In the preceding financial year, I will be having this. Now, the government, with just a snap of a finger, they can pass a notification by increasing this 40 crores. This 40 crores can be increased up to 100 crores, and this 4 crores can be increased up to 10 crores. Can be increased up to how much? 10 crores. Recently, an amendment also has come in this, but it's only for practical life, not for your exam. So for exam, turnover up to 40 crores, paid up share capital up to 4 crores, but this 40 and 4 can become 110 in the future. For this, government has instant power, guys. Then, for me to call something a small company, this turnover and paid up share capital limits alone is not sufficient. Along with this, these checks also should be there. My small company should not be a holding or subsidiary of another company, should not be a Section 8 company, and it should not be a company incorporated under a special act. Repeat with me, guys. Those who are watching online, repeat with me. It should not be a holding or subsidiary, should not be a Section 8 company, and it should not be a company incorporated under a special act, guys. These are the first two definitions. Let's proceed further. The next definition is listed company, and amendment of what is not listed. Important, guys. So come down. I have this in the material also, but let me give it to you in simple terms. 2 subsection 52 says what's a listed company. A listed company is a company not when the equity shares. They say when its security is listed on the recognized stock exchange, BSE, NSE, guys. And they also say unlisted is other than listed company. Here, sir, what is the amendment? Same thing is there in my book, guys. The amendment is very simple. For a public company, its equity shares is not listed. Let me repeat. The amendment says, for a public company, its equity is not listed. But what is listed? Other than equity is listed. Other than equity shares is listed. Don't say debt. Other than equity shares is listed. It can be one of these three. It's non-convertible debt instrument on private placement basis, or non-convertible redeemable preference shares on private placement basis. If these two is there, what will happen, guys? So in these two cases also, case 1 and case 2 also, this is also not a listed company. So look at this. This is also not a listed company. So what they're trying to say, my non-convertible debt instrument, for example, 10% debentures, company has issued on the recognized stock exchange, but it is listed on the recognized stock exchange only. Debentures are listed on recognized stock exchange, but on private placement basis. For selective people, because it's on private placement basis, not available for public, it will be not listed. And non-convertible redeemable preference shares. If the company issues non-convertible redeemable preference shares on private placement basis, again not available for public, then in these two cases also, the company will be a non-listed company. It will not be called as a listed company, even though its securities here are listed. Why this exception is coming? Because listed company definition says security listed on the recognized stock exchange. And then they are saying, sir, my security is listed not on recognized stock exchange, but other than recognized stock exchange, near my house or somewhere it's listed, guys, not authorized by SEBI. That's it. It's not a listed company. Are you following, guys? This is with respect to public company. So again, let me repeat, public company equity is not listed. Okay. And the other debt and what to say, non-convertible renewable preference shares is listed on private placement basis, then I will call it as a non-listed company only. Sir, what about private company? For private company, they're including only the first point. Only the first point. If it's a private company, then non-convertible debt. So debentures of a private company listed on stock exchange on a private placement basis, also then I will call it as a not listed company. Same thing for students who are following my book, guys. The same thing is given over here. I've just summarized into our notes. So not considered as listed company, non-convertible debt, non-convertible renewable preference shares on private placement basis, and private company which has their non-convertible debt on private placement basis. Are you following, guys? This is the second next definition. Next is dormant company or startup company. Let me go to dormant or startup company, guys. So what is this dormant company? A dormant company is a company which is formed and registered just like another private company, but intention is not to do business. Intention is for a future project, for something for the future. I have an idea now, so I'm incorporating that company, and company is only holding asset or IPR. In the company name, summa some building, something is there or some IPR is there, and it has no significant accounting transaction. So this is the definition which I have broken down, guys. So what is dormant company? Dormant company is a company which is formed and registered in India, of course, for a future project, holding asset or IPR, and has no significant accounting transaction. You write this, you will get half the marks. Then they are saying, what is no significant accounting transaction? These things, these 4 points over here. That means company can do only these 4 things. A dormant company can do only these 4 things. They can do payment for 3 reasons. Fees to registrar, ROC fees have to pay registrar, yearly I'm filing annual return, all those things. Any other requirement of any other law, PF, ESI, I will pay for that. Or maintaining office records, maintaining office and records, cleaning the office, maintaining office files, all of that. So payment for 3 things: payment for fees to register, payment for other requirements of any other law, payment to maintain office and records. And they can do allotment of shares, because without allotment of shares, you can't call it a company. So with me, guys, what's a dormant company? Dormant company is a company which is formed and registered for a future project to hold assets or IPR with no significant accounting transaction. If you keep repeating with me, by the time we finish this marathon, all these provisions will get into your head, guys, and then you can do the second revision after this. So keep repeating with me. Whatever you're doing, put everything aside and keep repeating with me. Drink some juice and get that energy, guys. Next, startup company. Startup company is a private company, and startup company, private company, these 3 points should be satisfied. Simple. It should be incorporated, of course, and not more than 10 years should have proceed. So startup company means a company which is in the first 10 years of incorporation. After 10 years, what, sir? No more call it a startup. Turnover in any of these 10 years, it should not exceed 100 crores. So if I'm saying for current year, can I call me a startup? Yes, in previous year, my turnover should not exceed 100 crores. And lastly, it should receive a DPAAT certificate from the Ministry of Commerce. You should receive a DPAAT certificate, guys. This is startup company. Let me go to the next one. We have holding and subsidiary along with exceptions. So come over here. If you look at this holding company and subsidiary company, a company is called holding of another company if one of these 2 points, here it is or, any one is satisfied. 1, it holds more than half of the voting power of the other company, guys. Has more than half of the voting power. Before it used to be paid up share capital, but now it's more than half of the voting power by itself or with one or more subsidiaries. So holding company, me by itself, I have more than half of voting power in other company, or by me along with few other companies, I am having more than 50% of voting power. Then this company is called holding. Or I can control, I'm controlling the composition of board of directors of the other company, then it becomes holding. You know, there are different ways we can draw holding, guys. Just know you finished accounts exam, you have studied AS 18, different chart will come. Now, can subsidiary company have shares in holding company? No, not allowed. But this has some exceptions. What are those exceptions, guys? I can have shares if the relationship or if the shares were held in that company before the relationship of holding subsidiary was established. For example, before holding company got more than half of voting power, subsidiary already had some shares in holding, then that shares can be still held. So you can have shares if this was purchased before the holding sub relationship is established. Or two other exceptions. Hold shares as a trustee. I'm holding shares as a trustee in the holding company or as a legal representative of the deceased person. That means, for example, the deceased person, I am their legal representative. So I'm holding it as a legal representative. Over here, if you see, point 2 and 3, holding share as a trustee and holding as a legal representative of deceased person. For these two cases, voting power will still be there. Voting power will still be there. But for the first case where you're holding shares even before relationship is established, you can continue to hold those shares, but you don't have voting power. Intention is to make you sell those shares, guys. Next one, before I go to one person company, let me finish off few more definitions. Definition of body corporate, financial statement, net worth, and managing director, guys. So look at this, and public financial institution. So public financial institution is nothing but combination of two types of companies, which is nothing but statutory company plus government company. If you add, you will get a public financial institution. Classic example is our LIC. So what is statutory company? Company incorporated under special act. What is government company? A company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by central government, state government, or combination of both. So public financial institution is equal to statutory company and government company. Don't write that in exam. In exam you will write PFI is a company incorporated under special act and not less than 51% of paid up share capital is held by central government, state government, or combination of both. Sir, what is body corporate? Company incorporated in or outside India, guys. I can incorporate in India, Japan, China, wherever. It's called a body corporate. Basically a corporate entity with separate legal entity. Artificial judicial person is there, means I will call it body corporate, and it includes even LLP. Now excludes what? It clearly excludes cooperative society incorporated under the Cooperative Society Act in India or any other body corporate. If notified by the central government, then I will not call it a body corporate. Next, definition of net worth. They have not asked in exam, but it can come suddenly. Very simple. Definition of net worth is paid up share capital plus free reserves plus securities premium, guys. This is what we take in every chapter. We take it in every chapter like deposits, everything. But here they don't use the word free reserves. Here they use the word reserves created out of profits. That means any reserve where it's transferred from P&L to a separate reserve, I will call it as free reserves. That means I will call it as free reserves for this section. That means based on this definition, can I include even CRR? Yes, CRR is coming from my profits. So it's a reserve created from my profits. So for this section of net worth, I can also include my CRR and other, for example, investment fluctuation reserve or export profit reserve. If this reserve is created out of profits earned by the company, then it's considered for net worth. Very, very important. If an examiner is very smart, he will ask this in exam. And net worth will not include three things. Aggregate accumulated loss, anyway we'll reduce it, we will show only net balance. Any deferred expenditure or miscellaneous expense not written off, like preliminary expense, all that will come over here. So what about revaluation reserve? This I will not take because revaluation reserve is not created out of profits. It's created out of change in fair value of assets. So this is the key. Reserves created of profits will be considered for net worth, guys. Next definition is going to be managing director. Who is a managing director? I am appointing you as managing director. I can appoint you in articles. I can appoint you through an agreement, or I can appoint you by passing a resolution in board meeting or general meeting, guys. to be a managing director, you don't have to be a director in the company. Remember, sir, I am a managing director, but I am not part-time director. I am not whole-time director. It's okay. I am not part-time director. I am not whole-time director. I can still be a managing director if one of these three is sorted. My name is there in articles, or through an agreement I am called MD, or resolution passed in general or board meeting, guys. So what does this person do? He has substantial powers with the management of the company. Substantial powers, you call it whatever name, call it MD, call it CEO, whatever, but this person has the following 4 powers. He can use the common seal, put that seal wherever he wants. He can draw and endorse, check or negotiable instrument. Of course, negotiable instrument includes check, but definition over here says you can draw and endorse, check or negotiable instrument. You can sign the share certificate. Share certificate can be signed for you, or you can direct registration of transfer of any share. So if you want to transfer any share from X to Y, you can direct, okay, make this share transfer. I am giving the approval, guys. So I can sign the share certificate, at the same time direct transfer of shares between parties, guys. This with respect to managing director. Now before I go to the last thing, 1% company in just one page, guys, let me show you the definition of financial statement, because you would have anyway studied this. So I'm taking the definition from our material, guys. Definition of financial statement 2 subsection 40 says what? It includes those 5 things which we all know. P&L, balance sheet, cash flow. So profit and loss account, balance sheet, cash flow statement, and it includes 2 more things: statement of change in equity and explanatory notes. Statement of change in equity and explanatory notes, guys. This you prepare in your accounts exam itself. Sir, what is important over here? What is important is the exception. Cash flow statement alone, no. Certain companies need not prepare. It is optional. It's not exempted. It is optional. If I want, I can prepare. For example, I have a startup called the Mind and Company in mental health space. For my company, cash flow is not mandatory. It's optional. If I want, I can prepare, because Mind and Company is a small company. So for whom it's optional, it's a small company, or it's a 1% company, or we just know so what's a dormant company, and a private company. And private company also, it's optional. If it is a startup which complies with section 92 and 137. What is section 92 and 137? 92 is annual return. 137 is filing of FS to ROC after the AGM is concluded, guys. So again, let me repeat, it's optional. It's optional in what all cases? Optional for small company, 1% company, dormant company, private company. And for these 4 cases, 1%, dormant, small and private company, if it complies with section 92 and 137, where they file annual return and financial statement at the right time. So this is the area which is important for the exam, guys. Next, let me go to the next concept, which is nothing but my 1% company. In 1% company, I have simplified the limits for you. It is very clear. 1% company will have how many members, guys? It will have 1 member. At the same time, it will also have 1 nominee. So 1% company will have 1 member and 1 nominee. Here, let me start off with the smallest of time limit, 15 days. If the nominee leaves, or if member dies and nominee becomes the member, basically if there's a vacancy in office of nominee, the member should nominate a new nominee within 15 days. That is 15 days. What is 30 days, sir? Whenever somebody is withdrawing to be a nominee is not there, sir, I have to intimate withdrawal of nominee. I am the nominee. Now I am leaving to US. I am getting married. Question. I am getting married, so I am leaving to US. Then I have to intimate ROC in 30 days. Now because I am leaving, I have to fill that vacancy within 15 days. I hope this point is clear. Next, what is the point of 120 days or more? This member and this nominee has to be an Indian citizen. Whether he is resident or not doesn't matter. I don't have to be resident. It's okay. I have to be an Indian citizen who stayed in India for 120 days or more in the preceding financial year. So I should stay in India for 120 days or more in the preceding financial year, then only I can be called as a member or nominee. I didn't stay for so many days, then you are no more a nominee. Intimate ROC in 30 days and appoint new nominee within 15 days, guys. What is this 180 days? For example, I am member in one OPC. For example, in OPC A, I am the member, me. In OPC B, I am the nominee, allowed. I can maximum be member of one OPC and additionally be nominee of another OPC. So today Karthik Manikonda can be member of one OPC and nominee of some other OPC. Now let's say I am a member in OPC A. In OPC B, I am only a nominee. Some other member is there. That some other member died. So now I am going to become member in both. I am going to become member in both. Now because of certain situation like this, in some other OPC where I was the nominee, I became the member because that member died. Therefore, what is happening to me? I am becoming member in both the OPCs. So in this case, within 180 days, I have to choose which OPC I want to continue. If I want to continue in OPC A, then I have to withdraw from OPC B. So for that, I'm given time of 180 days, guys. So 15, 30, 120, 180 are the limits over here. Other provisions over here. Can OPC change the name? Yes. But generally, when a company changes name, it becomes alteration of MOA. Here, if OPC is changing name, it is not alteration of MOA. Few other points, an OPC can convert to a private company, but OPC cannot convert to a Section 8 company, and OPC cannot invest in securities, let it be equity or preference or debentures of NBFC. I cannot invest in an NBFC. At the same time, I can't invest in shares or securities of a body corporate also, guys. These are the key provisions with respect to one-person company. With this, we are done with expected questions of one-person company also, and we are done with the preliminary chapter. Now let's move on to the next chapter, guys.